All right. Boom. Let's go. Big energy. Episode 105. This one's in the books already. First 10 seconds, one of our best episodes already. Stop what you're doing. Stop. Like, comment, subscribe. Send it to somebody you like. Send it to a Drake hater you don't like. This is going to be a great episode. Full of depth. Of course, you see to my left, Philadelphia PA stand up. Just go ahead. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for the boys.
Philly, this one's for you.
Definitely introduce, talk to him. Nelson is back.
Don't get no bigger than this.
Listen, it's good to be back.
Yeah, nah.
It's good to be back.
It was a special night yesterday. It was a special night.
Man.
Hey, man. Welcome back. Episode 104, the show about nothing. Like Ish said, please stop and subscribe. Send it to most importantly, the beautiful women. Salute to the women.
Salute.
Always for the ladies.
Always.
Especially the queens of Atlanta. You know how we feel about you. All right, but welcome back, man. This is a great show. As Ish said, this is already a classic, boy. This is already a classic. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what a beautiful weekend it's been. We came off, Nelson, you weren't here last week. I came in and I was like, bro, the biggest story of the week is not the Super Bowl. This is maniacal. This is mania. So it only got better. It only got bigger. We only got more to get into. This was a very fun night because this is one of those nights where you can expect the great to be great.
Yeah.
And me and Ish always talk about, especially in basketball, you really see it because it's such like one-on-one.
Yeah, it's only 10 of them.
Exactly. Yeah. But on championship day, on big performance day, you can see why the guys are the guys. And this was just a week and a weekend full of that.
1,000%. Yeah, no, it was a beautiful week. I mean, listen, it's crazy. I parked my car. I was going into QT, grabbing a body armor. It was a beautiful sunset. Like, it was 70 degrees. Like, life has just been like... Oh, just beautiful. Like, it's just so much going good right now.
For the content space, it's been perfect, especially if you're in the sports content space.
Yeah.
But before we jump into like the main stuff, I do want to get Nelson's real quick take, just in case we go way too long and everything else and then we don't get to talk about it. Yeah. What was your reaction to Luka and Bron? Because I still have ours. I got to post it tomorrow morning because it's hilarious. But what was your reaction to the Luka and the Luka trade to the Lakers with AD?
Dog.
Who's already hurt.
Was this Friday night?
Out indefinitely.
Was it Friday night?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it's Friday night, bro. Like, honestly, I wasn't even really on my phone like that. Like, I was kind of just kicking it with Grace.
It was late, right?
It was late.
Yeah,
it was late. It was like 12:30, something like that. And I think I looked at my phone at 12:50. And I just look and all my chats is blowing up. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are these? What could y'all possibly be talking about at 12:30, bro?
Facts.
And I have to scroll, and everyone's just like, what the Like,
yeah, no, I can't believe it.
I thought it was fake. Niggas was telling me Shams got hacked, so on and so forth. I'm doing my digging. I'm like, bro, I need the final details. Like, I need to know that y'all got every first until 2040 or something to like even let me begin to wrap my head around.
They got something we don't know about. Like,
I was like, bro, did Luka just like give his stance on Gaza or something? Bro, like, I need to know something happened.
Must have traded them niggas TDE.
Like, bro, something happened. Like, did Luka like I'm young? Something happened. I know something had to happen, bro. And then, bro, it ended up being real, and I'm just like, I don't know, bro.
It's still the craziest trade. Like, I still haven't like settled into it because it does not make sense. The report came out saying Mark Cuban did everything he could to stop this.
That's crazy. That was one of my first reactions. Like, somebody get Mark Cuban on the phone.
That's the other
somebody get Mark Cuban. He'll tell me right now. He will let us know.
That's the other thing. He made it so clear. He's like, bro, this will never happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, bro, what a week.
Well, listen, while we're here, bit of irony. I mean, you sold the majority stake of your team. I watched Shark Tank. You probably shouldn't have did that. I mean,
oh my God.
That 20% worth a lot less now.
Man, what?
Oh my
man, what? I was telling Ish, I was like, bro, this is not even just about on the court. Off the court, this boy was different. Like, he was finna bring a different type of market to Dallas for the next 10 years.
Listen, the Lakers finished. Listen, the Lakers gave out everyone who came got a Luka jersey tonight. Every person who came got a Luka jersey tonight.
Like, bro, like,
they even to show you what an international superstar in the Lakers.
Dog. An international superstar. This shit is finna get different.
Yeah. And it's sad. Like I have a few Mavs friends, and I'm just watching them do like a all-time masterclass in coping.
Oh yeah.
Because I know it's like literally the only way they won't kill themselves.
Listen, it's a couple Mavs Drake fans I know.
God.
Man, it's been a tough month. Been a tough month.
He was fat. He not fat. Bring him back. He not fat. Bring him back.
And that's the other thing that's so nasty about it is they really, at the same time, are trying to push the trade. You see all these 270 stories, bro. And I'm just do y'all not have no shame?
He's
like
6'9", bro. He's sick.
We don't believe you. Yeah. I saw him do the press conference. I'm like, this nigga is as slim as me.
Listen, I ain't gonna. That's why I don't feel. It feel like we in the Twilight Zone because he at the press conference like, "Am I a Laker?" Like, he at the press conference like. Am I in LA?
Is this real?
Yo, like he is literally spacing. They are asking a question. He's just like looking into the distance.
And that was the other thing is like they were like nobody knew. You telling me LeBron James didn't know?
Right.
When I said LeBron didn't know, I was like, so Jeannie Buss didn't know too?
Yeah, because if Jeannie Buss knew, LeBron knew.
Who knew? Like,
yeah, no, that is just stupid. Nico Harrison, shout out to you, boy. I wish, boy, you got some stones on you, dog. You got some stones on you.
Listen, that nigga better move like the president.
You feel me? So before we get into the Super Bowl, we'll start with the actual game because the rap stuff is gonna go on for a minute. But I have some notes, just some of the notes I took throughout the night, just because I'm trying to be more studious in our potting.
Yes.
None of these notes are serious. So the first thing I said when I started to do this was, why does Drewski have dreads?
That's hilarious.
Don't know. That was crazy.
Shout out Drewski, bro.
That was definitely racist, for sure.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed during the Super Bowl, this was during the national anthem, I said Jalen Hurts is very calm, like abnormally calm for this Super Bowl.
That's always the case, though.
Then Thunderbolts, nice. Mahomes got flustered very quickly with the pass rush. Mm-hmm. This may be the first time I saw Andy Reid get outcoached. Yeah. All caps, a white boy pick 6 in the Super Bowl. Oh, shit. It's his birthday.
Oh, shit.
Black History Month.
In order for them not to show Taylor Swift, you just got to beat them real bad. All devil magic is not created equally.
That's a fact. Listen, that is one of that. Listen, that's probably, we got to go back to that. That should be a topic.
I like that. I like that.
Uncle
talk about
Sam,
Howie Roseman.
Cole.
Yeah.
Kendrick got baby knees. Pause. If you don't know what I mean, you ever seen a baby squat? Every performance Kendrick got, he's squatting in it.
Yeah,
and his knees just always cool. Like, that's what I call baby knees. Pause.
He be working out.
I mean, he's short. He don't got to support that much, you know.
His center of gravity low as shit.
Why haven't I heard Mad City? Oh, shit. Is this Euphoria?
Oh, my God.
SZA, that's how you get a bag for the bare minimum. Mic off. Oh, no, he's not going to do it? Oh, he did it. Oh, he said it? Is that Serena Williams?
Oh, my gosh.
If Kendrick Lamar wasn't a rapper, he would be in prison. These are not the actions of a sane man. But that is how you represent rap. And Kendrick is who needs to be at the forefront of this culture.
Facts.
Those are my notes from the night.
I like this summary. I have an idea for a little meeting we're going to do with that too. But to hit with the football side, I think one of the first things you said kind of stuck out to me because I was watching on this like ginormous screen, so like everything was like super big. So I could see his facial expression when he got up. Like he was instantly shook. Like he was instantly first drive. Like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yes, bro.
He looked overwhelmed.
You saw that. Yes.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the first couple times he tried to get out the pocket and he couldn't get out the pocket. And then he started to panic because he couldn't get out the pocket anymore. It was very... Listen, I'm going to keep it a rack. I haven't heard nobody say this, and I don't know if niggas don't want to say it out of respect for him. Shout out to LeBron. It was very 2011 LeBron. It was very... Oh my God, who the fuck is wearing 15 in the jeans? Like
someone actually did say that. I forgot who it was.
Oh, spot on them.
It might have been on First Things First. I was watching all the sports shit, just doing my victory lap. But yeah, someone said that.
I did watch the first 20 minutes of First Things First.
Yeah.
Straight classic.
That's how you do TV.
Straight classic.
That is how you do TV.
Pure entertainment, elite television.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, you said all devil magic is not created equal. I ain't gonna lie.
He's gonna get right into it.
Listen, me and Brady was watching that shit. Like, yeah, it's not the same. It was like he down 17-0. Yeah, I remember being down 17-0. It look like that though.
I want to. So, 2 weeks ago, I told Ish when we introduced the pod by ourselves, I said, "Yo, like, we had a little mini GOAT debate about Mahomes and Brady."
Facts.
And I was like, funny enough, I was the one that was on the side of Brady. Like, yo, y'all gotta stop calling him Brady. Like, give it a second.
No, for sure.
First off, Brady did this for 22 years.
1,000%.
First off, Brady won 4 championships in like the last 7 years of his career when he was 37 plus. Like, let's relax on calling that boy.
Switch teams and won it.
Brady threw for 80,000 yards. He has 100,000 total passing yards in his career between the playoffs and regular season. Like, let's stop calling that boy Brady.
Yeah.
And then you saw why. So I want to start with on the Chiefs side because like Nelson deserves his victory laps, and I want to stay on the Eagles for longer because we actually haven't really spoke in depth about the Eagles because the NFC don't got the quarterbacks. Like the truth be told, that's why. So, but on the Kansas City side, first off, on the notes that I said Andy Reid got outcoached. I noticed that in the first half. In the first half, what was I know you know what's the score at halftime, bro?
24-0.
It was 24-0 at halftime. And they had 3 rushing attempts. And I said, Andy, like,
we ain't never seen it.
You're turning into Baltimore. They got down and immediately panicked. And it was like, Mahomes go save us.
Yeah.
And they forgot that the essence of their team was they never panicked and they never got outside of their game plan.
Right.
In every game you saw Kansas City play this year, they established the run. They made sure the play action was honest because that keeps the middle of the field open, which keeps Travis involved, et cetera, and we build off that. This game, they got down 10-0 and immediately hit the panic button.
Right.
And that pass rush was too good and is too good for you to just basically give up on the run and let them know we selling out the pass. So that lets them sell out to pass rush.
Right.
And you saw your offensive line wasn't matched for that. And when you know your offensive line isn't matched for that, because let's take it back to after I want to say the Texans game on Christmas, everybody was like, if the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because of their offensive line. So you know your offensive line is a problem, and you came out and ran the worst game plan to protect the weakest part of your team. That just doesn't make any sense to me. In closing, like, if you would have told me Saquon Barkley was going to have under 60 yards on 25 attempts,
that's crazy.
I would have been like, it's no way the Eagles win that game. It's no way the Eagles win that game. And they blew them out. And they just win the game. They destroyed them.
No. It was straight belt. Straight belt. If there was no halftime show, this episode might be STR8 belt.
Listen, we got to see 2 ass whoopings on national TV.
Yeah, no, it got bad. I got off work early. I like, it let me go. Like, these niggas finna lose. Like, let's go. We got him. Get out of here. Like,
and like just being
boy, FanDuel prize picks, unmanned. They ate yesterday. They ate good.
Niggas had that Saquon over 100.
Woo!
Oh yeah, that was all my homeboys had that shit. Yeah, for sure.
Shit, Mahomes almost hit the yard and a half.
Listen,
bro, niggas was like, so they gonna start scoring at the end? What? Like,
just being like an actual fan and like just being like overly superstitious about my team, I really didn't count them out until Devontae tried to go 34-0. Just because like I was like statistically like it's very not probable, but like I'm not fucking with y'all. Like
that's a fact.
And let's be honest, bro, because this is the roar of media and sports media and television having to be entertainment, but we exaggerate what a 10-point lead in the NFL is. Like, it is not that big of a lead. A 10-point lead in the NFL is like a 12-point lead in basketball.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I wasn't
You're being really dramatic about it.
10-0, I was not.
Yeah, so it was like, once it was 17-0, it was like,
oh, yeah, that pick six hurt.
It was like, okay, the pick six happened, and I was like, no, he's actually rattled. That was when I knew, because before I was like, he'll lock in. It's okay, it's the first quarter. He got to settle down. That 3-peat a lot of pressure. But then he threw that pick six, and that's when I knew he was forcing it. And when a quarterback is usually forcing it, it's because he feels like he has to make a play because they're not adequate enough to just stand there evenly.
Exactly.
And that's what it felt like after that pick six.
All right, time for me to get that shit off because into a 10-0, 24-0. Everybody Brady until it's time to do some Brady shit.
You ain't lying.
Tom Brady played in 10 Super Bowls, walked off the field in every single one of them in the fourth quarter at some point with the lead. Every single one, even the ones we lost, walked off the field at some point with the lead in the fourth. This is the second
crazy stat.
This is the second time it was a laugher. It was over by the start of the fourth quarter. Like, it didn't look bad. So I think that is probably the biggest difference is, like, yeah, you got blew out by the Bucks the first time, but you kind of hooped. You tried to hoop.
We saw you like trying.
Yeah,
like,
you tried.
We can't argue that you were the reason that they lost.
Exactly.
You were the reason.
You stunk it up.
Yeah. You had a bad game.
You showed that you played terrible.
Can I just pose the question? Continue after this. Pose the question.
Sure.
But does this change how you view Mahomes? Let's just go there.
Yes. I changed how I view him because I feel like he was probably the only modern day quarterback that could ever have another GOAT case.
Yeah.
Like it would be hard to like stand up and be like, yeah, that's the GOAT over Brady. Mm-hmm. But if you three-peat, win 5 and 7 years, you have a leg to stand on because like you've done something that's never been done. Mm-hmm. Now, see, this is why I love football so much because now the other end of that is you're 3-2 in Super Bowls and you've been flooded twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Tom's never been flooded. Mm-hmm. Like, and that it felt like watching, like, it's crazy. You mentioning a great 8 watch. The Peyton Seattle Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, yeah, it's over. It's over. Yeah, you come back and win it. They just blew the doors off of you on national TV. Yeah. And it was embarrassing. Like, we got this stuff up right here. It crossed the 50th to the second half.
That's insane.
It was like a Pac-12 team.
That's insanity.
I didn't know that.
They were like a Pac-12 team playing in the playoffs.
Yo, the 50, bro.
They didn't run a play in the Eagles side of the field into the second half. Like, and we mentioned, of course, Andy Reid and Spags, how we feel like they were outcoached. I mean, Xavier Worthy didn't touch the ball to the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
and everyone been saying all week he was going to be the X factor for them.
He's there at this point. He's their number one.
Yeah.
You didn't see like the way the Chiefs play is so. We always compare him to Steph, and in this situation, I feel like it's a good comparison because, man, if 30 off, it just don't work.
Don't work.
There's just no replacement for it.
Yeah.
You like Mahomes has to do so much stuff great because you've been getting away. Like we've talked about, you've been getting away for 20 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
21 score games, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Your luck is going to run out eventually if you're not solid. And they looked scared. They look intimidated. They look soft. They look like they wanted. Like it was a man's game on Sunday.
I'll be real. I think they look scared. I saw they look scared even just off the first rip. It was like RPO, check down, RPO, dump off. I was like, you could just tell. I was like, y'all been getting off on this because y'all really, and this is what I've been saying all year. Like y'all haven't seen a defense like ours all year.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're not used to everyone missing 5 tackles every time someone runs up to make a tackle. Like y'all not used to actual. Well, you've been running for your life this year because the tackle's been on bullshit. But like y'all ain't used to seeing this blanket out there. Like I'm dropping 7 back there every single time, and like like where you gonna go with the ball, my boy?
And not just we're dropping 7. 6 of the 7 guys are elite cover guys. 4 of the corners are good. Linebackers are good. And the 4 people up front aren't just like okay, the 2007 Giants, like, okay, you look at that, it's like, all right, it's Michael Strahan, it's just a tough, like it's crazy people everywhere. The Eagles is like, it's probably 9 players that are going to rotate on this D-line. And all rotation.
They're all fresh.
They're all good.
Yeah.
So I want to address before we get into the why, because that's where y'all were going.
Yeah.
I just want to mention Mahomes real quick about if I change my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I got
and
lost.
This is the only thing I will say about him is this is going to go one or two ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Brian in 2011, you brought that up, and I think that's a perfect comparison.
That's a great one.
9 straight finals after that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Went on one of the 3-4 greatest runs in NBA history after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you can have that happen, and now we got the blueprint for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Aaron Rodgers never went back to the Super Bowl.
Facts.
And Aaron Rodgers at that point in time, after he had that season, that MVP caliber season with that defense, with that team, with that squad,
15-1 next year.
15-1 next year, all of that, it was, this finna be Aaron's time. Aaron finna rattle off 3, 4, 5 of them. He liked that. But you started to kind of get the blueprint on how to stop him in the playoffs. And now this is the second time that in the playoffs he has lost because of his offensive line, because it's not like, because I think some people are putting too much on the offensive line because, again, I want to put a lot of this on Andy. Yeah. Like, you did not help them at all. You didn't help them at all. No, you have to help a bad offensive line because tangent, at the beginning of the season, the Ravens' offensive line was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what they did was they made sure they established the run because it slowed the pass rush down, and then they made sure Lamar got a really deep drop. So it took a little bit of time for them to get back there, and then it's Lamar. But on the Mahomes side of it is, if we get this blueprint, and now I know if I can just knock you off your spot in the first quarter and get you down, and it's, of course, it sounds easier than done.
Right.
But if this is a recipe and people are able to replicate this recipe, I do think this is a sign of what the future can hold, because I don't think that Kansas City is going to be able to retool to 3 Hall of Fame players, bro. Yeah. Like, they have Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Those are 2 Hall of Fame players, and then they have a Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. Yeah. So that's a lot of Hall of Famers in one roster carrying your team. Chris Jones is out of here in 2 years. Travis might be done this year.
Travis was done in January.
And
he needs to be.
And he might as well be done.
Travis was done in January.
Type shit. Like, Travis is over with. Yeah. So it's like, can they retool this to go like, because the focus, the preparation, and the dedication it takes to win this much in the NFL is crazy, and it's hard. That's why nobody has ever three-peated before. Yeah. So it doesn't make me look at him differently as a football player. And I was never really, he's the GOAT or even close. I didn't think it was a conversation to be had. Like, that's how I felt about it. So that doesn't change. Mm-hmm. But where I'm putting a question mark on my light bulb or antenna is going off is, all right, what happens if this is the blueprint and now people understand?
I agree with that. I think you're right in a way, but I think, like you said, it's easier said than done for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It changes GOAT debate-wise. I want to hit a couple things. So GOAT debate-wise, as the Brady fan, I feel for him in a way because, like, the Eagles beat us too the same way. Mm-hmm. Like, but at the same time, it took like 30 points. His foot was on the line. He was not in bounds. It's not a touchdown. But the thing is, and we give a lot of credit for Mahomes. What it feels like, it's a fork in the road moment, like you said.
Definitely.
But not just for his career. I think the way he plays the game fundamentally has to change. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but the NFL, like the NBA and all sports, move in trends. And while Jalen Hurts is a scrambling quarterback, Jalen Hurts is in the pocket. And Jalen Hurts, and he threw a pick doing this. And, sometimes you do get stuck with this, but sometimes, fam, you just got to stay in the pocket even if it's collapsing. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things about Brady was in the games where we were outmatched up front physically. Like I think the 2014 Broncos game where we were down, a bunch of points came back. Either of the Super Bowls versus the Giants, just plenty of times. Fam, sometimes you just got to stand back there, get hit, and still sling it. Mm-hmm. And I think what happens is you get 6 sacks in a game where you don't blitz is, you may be able to escape. But it might be easier if you just hit this in route on 2nd and 8. Mm-hmm. Get us to 3rd and 5, and then throw something. Like, sometimes, and this is the thing with Vic Fangio, and this is why it's one of his greatest defensive performances, is he didn't have to change anything.
Nope.
Same shell the whole game.
He didn't. This is the first Super Bowl since the 70s where they didn't have to blitz.
Same shell the whole game. Just go out there and make plays.
And look, just be better than us today. Be better. And it's crazy. But the minute we got the Super Bowl matchup, first thing I said about this game was whoever's corners win are going to win the game.
That is exactly what he did say that.
Whoever corners are going to hold up.
He also said something, and you was right, but said the wrong thing to be right. But we was doing our top 10 players last week, and
I saw Jalen Watson in that top 10, and nigga got toasted. That's all I'm going to say. I saw him in there.
I told him I had Chris Jones above Jalen Carter on my list.
I agree with
because
that.
Chris Jones, I was like, he might not have a motor in the first 3 quarters, but when it comes to game time and I need to play, I know he's going to make it, so I got him over Jalen Carter. Yeah. And he said, but the reason I have Jalen Carter first is because if the Eagles win this game, it's not going to get to the 4th quarter, and he's going to be the reason why, because that defensive line is going to wreck the game. And he just said it was going to be Jalen Carter specifically, but it was the defensive line in its entirety. Right. But that was his point, was like, yeah, you can have Chris Jones above it for the fourth quarter, but if the Eagles win this game, it's going to be because that front seven dominate, and he was spot on.
And what I saw, especially early, was beat us one-on-one.
Yeah,
beat us one-on-one. It may not be. We're not gonna chase. We're not gonna play man. We're gonna play good, tight zone, rally to the ball, make plays. And you saw people routinely not make plays. D-Hop had a nasty drop. Travis had a nasty drop. Mahomes missed 7 passes before halftime. Not just incomplete passes, misses.
Yeah, bad.
Misses. So
he had a first down, and Travis wide open sat him down and behind him.
Literally. And you saw just, I think and this is my second point, I think the next phase of his career will have to be, it's crazy, he's going to have to play more like Brady than he did himself.
Straight pocket work.
Yeah, where, fam, sometimes it's one step to the left and throw. It's not spin around, come back, and then throw. Like, sometimes, like, because the people you're trying to throw to, they can't see you spin around until they turn around. Their routes have to end before they see you. So having more control of that, I think, is going to help him, because I think he's just gotten too wide.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's used to the Mahomes magic. That's what
Literally.
he came up off of.
1,000%.
You're going to be 30 now, so I'm with you.
And I agree with Ish where he said he has to fundamentally change how he plays. Just real quick, it seems like when his line starts to have a bad game, his eyes come down quick.
Exactly.
And that was the thing what you're speaking about Brady is Brady's eyes never came down. It was like, bruh, either we lose this game because I don't want to get hit, or I get hit and we win. Literally. Like there's no option. Those are the only 2 options. So I'm gonna sit in this pocket and I'm gonna get hit, so my eyes are gonna stay up. And it seemed like he was saying hut, and the second he didn't his first option wasn't open, his eyes came down, and he tried to find the reset to throw the ball, and that's something that has to drastically change.
One of my favorite just QE masterclasses is the 2014 Super Bowl for the Seahawks. And one of my favorite things about that is we didn't block Michael Bennett for the entire game. The entire game, Michael Bennett beat whoever was in front of him. Double team, triple team.
That boy was a monster.
But
he was a monster.
Dog.
Yeah.
He was a monster.
But we were just at a point where, listen, we going to hit some line, spread it out, bring it back in, hike the ball, and third step, that ball is out. We are not, like, when you try to create, it's crazy, like the Steph thing. You can shoot that 30-footer, but it got to hit. It got to go in, and sometimes that's not the shot we need. Sometimes down 7-0, our defense just got to stop. We don't need you to create magic. Just get everything back on schedule. And I think that is the thing that made Brady so different was even when we were down 28-3, the game never got out of hand for him. It never looked like, man, he's rattled.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was the biggest difference.
They had 1 first down in the first half, bro. Yeah. Just asinine. So let's flip it to Nelson.
Well, I just want to say, just to answer your question about Mahomes. Yeah, I'm with you more so in the fact that it doesn't change how I view him, but I think that, because I was in the same boat as you, like, it was never a convo with Brady yet. Yeah. I think my main thing with Mahomes was always he was on pace. That's the thing. Like, you look at where he is in his career, I'm like, he's on pace. But why are y'all trying to put him there right now? If he keeps doing what he's going to do, he'll do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all just got to let it play out. So I just think that this was just a big halt on that, and now it's like you have to make up ground now. Now, like, you were on pace. You were going to have the 3-peat, something no one ever done. That was going to... You might have been able to possibly go with 6 instead of 7 because you did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, all right, I seen you get cooked. You already have the head-to-head matchup with Brady that's already not in your favor.
It's over.
All this shit. Now it's just like, I'm still not going to say it's over because you made the argument about how long Brady played, 22 years, you know? And this is the thing with the NFL and how hard it is to win and be a long-standing good franchise. Like, Pat and Andy, you have to do with what Belichick and Brady did. Y'all got to stick together, and y'all got to prove you can go through different generations of players. You need to win rings with bums sometimes. Like, you're going to have to make greatness happen. Y'all got to stick together and figure it out, you know? And you can do it. It's possible. So I'm not going to rule out that it's not possible. If you play for a long-ass fucking time, you stick, y'all two prove y'all the GOAT tandem and figure it out, it's possible. But you got some ground to cover.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And before we get to Nelson, I do want to say something to the Chiefs fans, the couple niggas that are out there. Listen, Dynasty's it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Like, niggas be like, oh, you a Pats fan. Like, like y'all always won. We went niggas be like, y'all was always winning. We went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. Like, 10 really long years.
Yes.
Like, you get, but well, when you get fucked in the Super Bowl, but you lose, you get embarrassed, you lose players. You see niggas who, like, were all-time greats, age out of that. But the difference was, and I will say this before we, actually, this is the perfect time for it. Listen, that Travis Kelce shit y'all was doing, boy, listen, hey, his time was coming. Hey, y'all was talking, nobody wants a blocking tight end until your tackles stink. Until your tackle's bad, then blocking as a tight end matters. Nobody cared about blocking tight end before. They was like, oh, well, he gets us a bunch of yards. All right. Mahomes is on his back. Hopefully he can throw it from there, too. Like, all right.
Go get you a fullback or something.
And Gronk's last Super Bowl, he was a blocking tight end the entire game because we needed him to block. Because we couldn't block Aaron Donald. Like, they have aged pretty gracefully. But these next 3 years, like you're saying, they are going to have to clean house.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have to go. Well, not like firing people, but like, I mean, Chris Jones not going to be there. Travis Kelce's not going to be there. Joe Tooney, the left guard, I mean, he's about to be 30. Like, listen, I got the Chiefs on my Madden roster. Listen, a lot of them niggas kind of old. Like,
and that was the thing about Brady is Brady retooled, did it again, retooled, did it again. And the thing about Brady is they say they try to trick you. Yeah. Brady didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 years. He got the two in between the 10 years.
Right.
He just didn't win one. He got the two other.
It was a lot of AFC championships in there too.
And exactly, but he was in the AFC championship every other year during that time.
Do that
so it was like he was.
We lost to the champions like 2-3 years in a row.
Yeah. Still winning, still putting pressure on them. And like I said, bro, that GOAT debate got to chill, bro. Brady is at over 100,000 total passing yards. The league, the franchise. I mean, the NFL in NFL history, he has the most passing touchdowns. Yeah. He's leading in the big three category for quarterbacks. Yeah. It's different over there.
He has more Super Bowls than any team.
He has more Super Bowls than any team. Yeah. He has 10 Super Bowl appearances. He was in the booth yesterday talking about my first 9 Super Bowl appearances.
Okay.
Let's be cool on the Mahomes Brady talk. Like I said 2 weeks ago, bro. Like Mahomes is that guy. Mahomes is him, but he has things to work on before we start putting him in that upper echelon of tier of quarterbacks. Brady's different on a tier of his own.
As a Brady fan, hearing him in the booth was so funny.
No, it was.
He was back there cackling. It was like 2 minutes. He didn't say nothing. He was just like kicking back. He's like, it ain't busting this ass.
Boy, he was having the time of his life. Man. He was having the time of his life as he should. Yeah. But
Tom threw for 500 versus the Eagles.
500. And lastly, another point in the GOAT debate, which is going to be really hard for Mahomes to get, is Mahomes' combined Super Bowl losses are 40 points. Yeah. And Brady's 3 Super Bowl losses, it was 15, a combined 15 points. Yeah. Like a combined 15 in 3 games versus 40 in 2. Mm-hmm.
You might have beat him, but you was gonna have to go down swinging.
You was gonna have to go down swinging, and that's what we thought about Mahomes.
And like you said before we get off the Chiefs, listen, all devil magic not the same.
You feel me?
Like listen, 17-0 kind of felt different. Like, it was like, damn, these niggas might be fried. Like, 17-0, like, man, them niggas hitting hard. Like 17 points, no cap. I've seen Tom Brady, like, erase 17 points in a playoff game, like, I think, like, 5 times, damn near, just in his late 30s, man. Shout out Tom, man. Good day to be a Pats fan.
That boy Nick Wright said, the score is 10-0, so now the game could finally begin.
Oh, yeah. Game was over quick. That was a quick-ass game.
All right.
It was 10-0, then y'all 21 scored.
like, get off the sticks, dog. Oh, my God.
Nelson, it is your time. Before we say any topic, anything, take it away.
How does it feel,
How does it feel, man?
Listen, man. First and foremost, above everything, I have to say,
thank God.
Thank God.
All praise to Allah.
This can't be taken for granted. I've been blessed enough to witness 4 Super Bowls, win 2 of them. Both the ones that we won were up against 2 of the greatest quarterbacks we'll ever see.
Facts.
And I could have lived my entire life and been a Cowboys fan and not even seen them get the conference championship.
Shout out Man Hurts.
My quarterback who wasn't alive the last time that the Cowboys went to the championship, and he just got a Super Bowl MVP.
That is crazy.
So I just don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? My pops is a Niners fan. It's cool. They got them old-ass rings. I've watched them lose multiple times.
The Fantastic 4 rings, like the 60s.
Yes, literally. So it's just like all these things I just can't take for granted. There's a lot of folks who will never – there's franchises that still have no ring at all. So just the fact that they're able to get it done. The first one was special. It's something about how when Carson Wentz goes down that year, I just didn't know what the probability was of anything
that's
of
crazy.
that shit happening.
Yeah.
Backup coming in, like very storybook shit, whatever. But it was something about this team and the pressure, the mounted pressure of Howie putting together a team like this.
Yeah.
This is one of the best rosters we ever seen.
Yeah, easy.
And I can't stress to y'all, I'm just glad we on this side of it because if things didn't go that way, the dialogues were going to be so nasty.
Oh, yeah.
The dialogues about having a team that good and failing.
Yeah.
The dialogues about Saquon sitting and not going for the record.
Yeah.
It was so much shit at stake
Facts.
if they didn't do it. And it's like, I love what you said about the coaching thing. And Sirianni been on the hot seat for like 2 years straight.
Yep.
Them niggas did not flinch
Nope.
once this year. The revenge game factor from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You just know every one of them niggas wanted it, and they didn't care until the clock hit 0. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of y'all until I walk
Listen,
off.
Devontae touchdown? Yeah.
The Eagles have won 16 of their last 17 games.
That's crazy.
And the only game they lost, Jalen Hurts got hurt in.
Literally.
We haven't lost in September.
Listen, listen, I love what this means for Jalen Hurts. I love what this means for just Philly in general, just because they're probably one of the best organizations teams. We're talking about the second best organizations teams, but I feel so vindicated for something we were a part of, arguing about this roster, this Howie Roseman, the people, the moves that he be making.
Yeah.
Shout out Nick Wright, because you were one of them niggas like, Jahan Dotson. Who cares about Jahan Dotson? And it's so cool to say Howie Roseman only signed people we know. Well, we know them because they're good football players.
They're fucking good.
Like, I know who Jalen Carter was because he went to UGA. Like, Jordan Davis, I know who Jordan Davis is because he's been a dog his entire life.
Because he's 6'8" and like 300 pounds.
Literally.
Like a fucking animal.
Like, the Eagles, and I felt this kind of watching the Washington game a little bit with the Chiefs, but I didn't really feel bad for them. But, like, yeah, y'all lost on Sunday, but y'all lost this game in April. Y'all lost this game in March. Y'all lost this game at the draft when niggas said, yeah, that's Jalen Carter, but, you know, he got stuff going on off the field. We're not going to draft him. Y'all lost him when it was like, yeah, he's one of the best corners in the draft, but he's white, so we're not going to draft him. Or, yeah, he's one of the best corners, but he went to a small school, so we're not going to draft Quentin Young Mitchell. Like, this was over a long time ago for 28 of the teams. It was 28, 29 of the teams where it was like, your roster's not good enough for you to be in this game. Period.
They said
Simple as that.
When we got Saquon, they said it was like putting new rims on like an 80 Honda.
Which is crazy.
They were like, that's not fixing like what's wrong with the team. I'm like, okay.
Which is insane.
So I do want to talk about the Eagles.
Yeah.
But Ish is my brother, man.
Yeah.
It's one thing I do. I come in here. I try to find one thing he was right about a week and tell him, like,
That's
remind
real.
him, like, yo, you was right about this, like I did with the D-line.
Yeah.
But I hold him accountable.
That's a fact. That's true. That is true.
Apologize to Nick Sirianni, sir.
I will
apologize to Nick Sirianni, sir.
Nick Sirianni, I want to say this.
Out-coached a GOAT.
Listen, I want to say not only I
arguably twice too. Arguably twice.
Listen, I want to apologize to Nick Sirianni for this season, and I will retroactively apply it to that Super Bowl as well.
Yes, sir.
That's how this works when you win Super Bowls. History gets written by the niggas who win. So now instead of, it was just like, the Chiefs beat us, it was like, we should have won. Like, I do want to apologize next year. Listen, they were prepared. They didn't make any decisions I thought were crazy. I thought that first fourth down was a little, but
we had to set the tone. No, that's the Chiefs.
That's the Chiefs. And that's
I'm
my
not
thing.
finna lie down.
I was like, it's a crazy choice, and the ball got released to AJ Brown. I am one of those people. If it is fourth down, listen, I'm giving it to my best player. If Julio's double covered, Julio's double covered. If AJ Brown double covered, AJ Brown's double covered. And he immediately embarrassed Trent McDuffie. Caught the back. They brought it back, but the tone was
we
still
saw what
set.
it was.
I am Super Bowl winning coach. I feel like he has vindicated himself in that hot seat a lot.
100%.
I think they outcoach what I think is probably, well, now that kind of more love, but still probably the best coaching staff in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But start to finish, they were the better team, the more physical team, and the more mentally tough team.
Yes,
and I think that is why Nick Sirianni deserves the biggest apology, is because they were the more mentally tough team, which going into was looked at the opposite. Mm-hmm. Especially by me, because I said, looking at it like this could be good the other way, where it could fall apart if he does something wrong, but it was the complete opposite. They, Sting started slow, first 3 and out, and they stayed with it. There was never any panic. There was never any, what is he doing? It was great. Listen, I'm still going to hit a little early on the Gatorade bath, but, Listen, when you're up 40 in the Super Bowl, like
that was a flex. That was they did that on purpose to like let y'all know, like, look how much time left. And we over here.
I'm glad they did that because it make the touchdown after look corny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, you're trying against our backups.
Okay. Cool.
Like, I love the fact that they went for fourth down because I feel like it's just like you got to have some brass ones to fuck with the dogs. Y'all the standard. Yeah. And it goes back to our Super Bowl, like the Philly special. That shit was fucking crazy to attempt on a fourth down.
Niggas don't. I'm so glad you said that because it was such a cool play. Niggas forget that was fourth and goal.
No, like that.
But 4.5, we're down 2. We get a stop right there.
They're like, I need these points, and we need every fucking point.
And not only it's like, all right, if we kick a field goal, we up 5. But if we score a touchdown, we might be up 10.
Yes,
we gotta go. It's like, all right, if we stop them, that's a whole new game in the second half.
Man.
Yep. And same thing for this one. It was like, man, it felt like there was 10 minutes of high leverage moments, and all of them with the Eagles. Like, every single one.
I want to get to Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts more specifically.
Right.
So I want to start off with a stunner. I told you, nigga. And what
no. Throw Roby in there too, because niggas was talking about Justin Herbert. Listen, I got a crazy memory. Stunning
and
I
Roby,
can go down the list.
And this is the thing that I'm really talking about, stunning, not the Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert. That's not even a conversation. I don't even want to entertain that right now. I want to talk about how I always speak on intangibles for quarterbacks.
Yep.
And he looks at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know when somebody call you crazy so much, it's like, maybe I am crazy.
Dog, I'm telling niggas, I'm crazy. Like,
but then Tom Brady was like, intangibles, I look at intangibles for quarterbacks coming out more than I look at their talent because everybody's talented. Yeah. And I said, thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
I feel vindicated.
Yeah.
Brady's always right.
And my thing about Jalen.
He's always right.
He gets it.
My thing about Jalen was, it's not about the talent on the field, bro. It is about the intangibles of him as a quarterback in the face of a franchise like that, bro. Because as we speak about New York media, Philly's media is that.
Crazy.
But Philly's media is mean.
Worse. No, like, Philly
mean.
Worse.
And the Philly's fans are mean.
They get you out.
They get you out. They boo after you're down 7-0. You can't smooth the ball. Like,
they
mean.
They boo Santa.
Yeah. Like, they're crazy. So to deal with that pressure, to deal with that adversity.
Eagles fans are who Bills fans think they are.
Where we come in this season and it's last year you ended the season as bad as you can end a football season, coming off the Super Bowl MVP caliber season, MVP caliber Super Bowl performance, almost won the Super Bowl MVP and a loss. That's how crazy he was balling.
Then started off 10-1 the next year.
Started off 10-1 and then tailed off. It's real easy to come into this year after starting 2-2. The media is behind you. Oh my God! Because in September, Jalen had more turnovers than he had touchdowns.
My coach cut his hair.
Coach cut his hair. Was yelling at fans.
Nigga brought his kid to the podium.
Everything was going to shit in Philly.
That's one of the funniest. That's one of the funniest niggas ever.
But when you got a guy like that at the forefront of your franchise, and he is able to just keep a zen about the franchise, a zen about the offense, a zen throughout the organization, you get these results. Jalen doesn't have the most talent. He's not the best running quarterback in football. You can argue he might not have a top 10 arm in football.
Right.
But the thing about the position of quarterback, it's not about how it looks. It is about the results.
Yeah.
And he brings results time and time again. And there's one intangible that you need as a quarterback. The moment can never be too big.
That's a fact.
And as I said in my notes, I saw during the national anthem, before a ball had been kicked, a coin had been flipped, I said, that boy is calm.
Yeah.
Like, it was no pressure. It was no shaking. It was no tears. It was nothing. It was just like, nigga, this is another Sunday. I do this. Like this, I'm supposed to be here. I'm built for this. And when you got a guy like that walking into your huddle, it just calms everybody around. And that boy's special, bro.
I wanted to bring up, because I 1,000% agree, and to piggyback off that, 100%. Something Tom said, and he wasn't even talking about Jalen. He was talking about the rookie cornerbacks on, he was talking about Quinyon and Cooper DeJean on the Coward show. He was like, because Coward asked him, like, yo, I would attack them like they're rookies, But he was like, man, these rookies, like, you're a millionaire at 17. You go to college. You go on the road. You playing for the $70,000 at Michigan. Like, fam, Jalen Hurts went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Nick Saban, Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, and then he went to Oklahoma.
And linked up with Lincoln.
Like, these games, like, this is what he knows.
Yes.
He doesn't have to learn, Josh Allen straight, he doesn't have to learn how to compete in big games because all he's ever competed in are big championship games.
Texas high school football.
And one at every level.
6'8" Texas high school football.
And one of the greatest, it's just a pure winner, bro. Listen. And just to ask the question, is Jalen Hurts top 4 QB right now? I think he can't be lower than Josh Allen. So wherever you have Josh Allen, I think he needs to be one spot above him.
I like that.
He is a champion-level quarterback. And aside from just being a championship-level quarterback, he is a quarterback who's done it multiple times. Joe Burrow was a top 3 quarterback for making it once.
Thank you.
And it was like, oh, yeah, he beat Mahomes. Well, Jalen just blew him out in the Super Bowl.
Nelson, top 4. Just Jalen, a top 4 quarterback?
I completely echo what Ish said. So, honestly, like, the way the last 2 seasons have gone, and I'm not like an excuse type of person, but like just with the way that the numbers be on the field, I just stopped having top 5 to face with people about Hurts. Everyone has their mentality about Hurts, and it's just like the convos don't seem fruitful enough for me to go back and forth. That's not a barbershop debate I feel like having anymore. Just the way that niggas operate. But at the end of the day, I know the product I see on the field. I know the intangibles, like you saying. I know that I trust him. I don't think there's any quarterback I trust more than him besides Pat, really. I got 8 there too. Yeah. But Baltimore just doesn't put it together as much as Philly does, the coaching wise in the moments at least. Yeah. So
agreed.
So I agree with Ish in that I have him above Josh and probably only under Pat and Lamar. And yeah, to be honest. But my main thing is at the end of the day, he shows up in every moment. He's 6-3 in the playoffs now. If you look at both Super Bowl performances, he's never lied down. Like putting those 2 performances together, his numbers, it's like damn.
Yeah, he's been amazing in the big moments. And another reason I'm gonna have him firmly in my top 5 and my top 4. And niggas aren't gonna like this, but that's his conference now. Like you want Joe Burrow want to be above Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen want to be above Jalen Hurts. Handle your conference.
That's why this nasty on there because I can't spell dynasty. But I really think the Eagles have a dynasty brewing.
Yeah.
Bro. Howie has worked their contracts out perfectly to where no one is getting paid too much. You got AJ, and then as soon as AJ don't want to be there no more, you can trade him, and you either have a number 1 in Devontae Smith, you can go get a number 1 in the draft, or you can just trade for a younger number 1, just depending on what the optics are at the time. That defensive line, although you're going to have to replace a few people, the best players on that defensive line are young. Yeah. People forgot. Shout out to Zach Bond. He ain't gonna be that expensive. He was a practice.
He was on a deal. He got a great deal in the free agency.
And we gave him a chance. There's a level of loyalty there where we pulled him, we changed his position. He found out he's like, oh, I can actually play defense now. Like he's not leaving.
1,000%.
And then you have somebody that nobody even remembers. Nakobe Dean was not there. There are other starting linebackers. So you're gonna have him. You got 2 rookie corners. You got Darius Slay gonna ride off into the sunset. You can replace him this year in the draft. You got CGJ and you got Blankenship tied up. This is a dynasty in the making. If the Eagles win 3 of the next 7 Super Bowls, I would not be surprised in any way. Now, to the Jalen is a top 4 quarterback. Last week, one of these past few episodes, I had Jalen at 6 after Jaden Daniels. That is no longer the case. Storage problems. But as I was saying, so if you saw that little jump, we're sorry. But I had Jaden Daniels at 5. I no longer can say that anymore, bruh. Yeah. I have to have Jalen at 5 at the bare minimum. I am leaning towards agreeing with y'all with the Josh at 5 and Jalen at 4. And before those of you, anybody gets mad at me, I would like you to understand that Josh Allen just won an MVP he didn't deserve for playing football exactly like Jalen Hurts.
1,000%.
Oh, my God. Say it louder.
Yeah.
Josh Allen just won an MVP he did not deserve for playing football exactly like Jalen Hurts.
Getting pushed everywhere.
The difference is Jalen Hurts beat Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen didn't.
Yeah.
The difference is Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl and Josh Allen did it. The difference is Jalen Hurts has gotten to a second Super Bowl. Josh Allen has not been to one.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
I'd put him over Burrow, too.
If you want to be honest, like, you want to be like Josh Allen just has more talent. But in the biggest moments, if that talent doesn't produce the best result, why is he better? Because he's better in game 11 and can make a loss look cool with 6 touchdowns?
No, it's because he can throw the ball really far.
Or is it because he can throw the ball really far?
Yo, listen. It was an incompletion, but boy, he threw a tight spiral.
He threw an arm punt. No, it was an arm punt.
Can we be honest about what we're watching? Because if we want to make wins a quarterback stat, and Mahomes is the reason for the wins, and Lamar is the reason for all of his team's playoff losses, then we have to have the same energy with Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Because your excuse for not having that energy with Jalen Hurts is, his team is good as hell. Yeah. The Chiefs has one of the best teams in the NFL every year since Patrick Mahomes has started, and he does not get the same excuse.
Yeah, like all the teams are good.
The Bills have had one of the best rosters in the NFL. The Ravens, the Bengals, any quarterback that we talk about has a phenomenal roster.
Yep.
But when it comes to Jalen, it's used against him. And it's because we don't like how it looks. Mm-hmm. It's because we don't like how it looks. But when Josh Allen had won a playoff game with 127 passing yards, it was all cookies and candles.
Yep.
But when Jalen Hurts wins a playoff game, when Jalen Hurts won a playoff game with 160 passing yards, is can he throw him to a championship? Yeah. Can he throw him to this? Do you trust him in the big moments? They was asking if you trust Jalen Hurts to get to a Super Bowl after Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl with the worst team.
Facts. Shout out to DeAndre Swift.
So, yes, Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. I will have him at 4 above Josh Allen. I won't put him above Joe because I just think Joe is like that. Like,
that's fair.
That's simple as that.
That's fair.
It's not really any math behind it. It's just I really think Joe is like that, and I think Joe is him in the biggest moments too. And then Lamar is just...
We all feel the same about Aiden.
Lamar is arguably the most talented football player we have ever seen. Like, he is in that type of space.
He's serious.
Yeah, that's the 3 for me, but Jalen would be at 4 and locked in at 4 until Josh Allen gets to a Super Bowl or just does something we haven't seen.
For the sticklers out there, I'll even lay out my case specifically. 1 is Mahomes. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. 2, it's 2 MVPs, Lamar. 3,
should be 3.
3, it's Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. After that, that's where your Josh Allen, your Joe Burrows. Listen, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback to be drafted after Patrick Mahomes to win a Super Bowl. He's played 7 seasons. That is why Jalen Hurts so 1 Super Bowl. Yes, you are just not used to seeing young quarterbacks win with Super Bowls around Patrick Mahomes. But back in the day, you won a Super Bowl, that actually got you right up there. Yep. And Jalen Hurts deserves to be top 5 quarterback, top 4, top 3 until he proves otherwise. Especially because, and I'm not mad at Burrow, because we've seen Burrow be great in the biggest
And at
moments.
least he made it. At least
exactly.
he had a terrible line. At least you made it.
Until we see Josh Allen or one of these other young, whoever they are, go toe-to-toe with a champion, beat a champion, become a champion in some way. Listen, I'll even give you an AFC championship game. I'm not debating it. I don't care how far Josh Allen throws the ball. I don't care if he throws it with his left hand, right hand, behind the back. I don't care, bro. Don't care.
Listen.
No, go ahead.
So, Jalen Hurts has started for 4 seasons. 2 of those seasons ended in Super Bowl appearances.
Literally.
1 of those ended in a ring.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has had a different offensive coordinator every year since high school, except for 21 and 22. He had the same one.
That's crazy.
The season of 2022 is when he was second in MVP voting, and he made it to the Super Bowl. Yep. And he made it All-Pro.
And I will say this, Jalen Hurts will be in the MVP discussion next year and might win it because now that he's won the Super Bowl, it changes how we view you. Yeah. So now that he has a Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl MVP, was the best player in 2 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes on the field, you're going to start looking at him as the reason instead of one of the reasons.
No, that's a fact.
And so next topic to the other best player on the team, does this change, not in a negative light because he had a mediocre game, but does this change this year in general change how you view Saquon? He ends the year as the all-time leader in rushing yards for a complete season, playoffs included. Yeah. 20 touchdowns, was the reason this team went from a B plus, A minus team to an A plus blessed team in the NFL Super Bowl champion. So does this change how you view Saquon, where you would have him in this generation of running backs, or are you kind of still view him the same?
Yeah, no, it's a couple of things. Just off top, first I want to say, sorry, Shady, you're no longer the best Eagles running back ever. That hurts. Because I love Shady McCoy a lot. Listen,
Me too, bro.
Me too. I love Shady.
He's right. Like to answer your question truthfully, it's one of the best running back seasons ever, and he's one of the best running backs ever from the season stamp. Period.
Literally.
I would argue
it might be the best.
I would argue as far as talent, he's one of the 5 to 8 most talented running backs we've ever seen. Just as far as talent.
Maybe.
But
low key.
But like he's not a top 5 to 8 running back because of just his it's some crazy running backs, bro. Like it's been some phenomenal legendary running backs. But I think talent wise, just what he can do on the field, he's up there in that top 8. I'd say 5. I'll say 8 to
this is
12.
what I'll say, and it's crazy. We was just talking about Emmitt Smith the other day, but these next 3, how long his body holds up will depend to where he ends up in NFL history.
Agreed.
Because, I mean, if he's just as good as next year, like
this line stays, the line's gonna stay.
The offensive line, the system playing with a running quarterback, he is in as good a situation you could be for a running back. Like all the great running back seasons, OJ season, Eric Dickerson, that AP year, like Chris McCaffrey when they went to the Super Bowl,
LT, Barry Sanders,
LT. It was all like
TD Terrell Davis. Yeah,
it's like, man, amazing, but you can only do this for so long. You did it for one season. Fam, if Saquon, like we think they're gonna be one of the best teams moving forward. If Saquon stacked these in 2, 3, 4 great seasons, even if the last season isn't 2,000 yards like this one, he will be looked at a lot different than we thought he was.
And that's why, to answer your question, I want to say it honestly. Obviously, it changes things because it's such a historic season. But like in my mind, like where I held him, it doesn't. Because, like, I always viewed Saquon like that.
Yeah.
Like, to be a running back and get drafted at number 2, like, that doesn't happen. Like, you not no hoe. Like, Quan was always special. You were just literally burning in MetLife Stadium for 6 years.
Yeah, you was a Bugatti in an apartment.
Like, you had no QB for people to think was a threat. You had no offensive line to protect you. You had a revolving door of coaches. Like there was no consistency. There was nothing, and you were still getting off. Yeah. And MetLife Stadium is historic for injuring players. Like, I really think that probably played a part in his injury history, too. 1,000%. So I really just think that it's really just a shame to the sport of how the prime years we got that was wasted. You could have been doing shit like this.
I agree with that.
Listen, everything you feel about that is how I felt about Odell when he first left there. I hate Baker, but another thing, just to hit on Saquon, and he does deserve this love because he did put the team first, try to get the record, stayed healthy, all that, which I salute. I would have got the record. You know, he wanted to do it, but good soldiers locked in. But he's not, like you talked about skill sets, especially when I love evaluating a running back because Saquon's probably one of the couple 3-down running backs left in the league. Yep. And when I say that, people always think like, oh, yeah, he can catch the ball. I am talking about it's 3rd and 7, and the nickel just came. And someone needs to get in between this blitzer and this quarterback.
That first blitz pickup, bro.
And Saquon is one of the best blitz pickup backs in the league. He's physical, he's on time, and he's where he needs to be. And he's just A+ everywhere. Catch the ball at the backfield, great. Run the ball, short yardage, great. Long yardage, great. He is amazing at so many different things. Like, he is, and I think this is why, depending on the next couple of years, he will be the blueprint for what the modern running back looks like.
Agreed, because the next person I was about to go to kind of combat what you were saying is Derrick Henry. Your point about the modern back is correct because you can't be Derrick Henry. Like, you can't just can't teach what he is. Right. But the issue is what you're staying healthy and taking care of your body and what this next 3 can be is right now. The running back you can kind of have to say is above him in his generation is Derrick Henry. Christian is an argument, but Derrick you have to put in front of him.
Right.
And it's going to be hard to catch Derrick because he's in the same position where Lamar might have extended his career by 2-3 years.
Facts.
And if he stay healthy and Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell keep taking some carries from him throughout the first 8, 9, 10 games of the season, that might change how his career looks on the longevity. So it's like you kind of already chasing somebody in your generation. It's not even like you just chasing a ghost.
And I think what's so interesting about that is because this is, I think, probably the second or third time we've had this with running backs. It's probably a gift to the sport just because it used to be so many. It was like,
for sure,
the two GOAT running backs played on the same Sundays right now. Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith used to play back-to-back games.
Yes.
So I do think Saquon is chasing Derrick Henry, but they're running high. Like, they're chasing each other real high up on that
100%.
list. So
It's
agreed.
If he finishes behind Derrick, he still might be top 5, top 10. Like, so,
yeah,
definitely.
And I definitely think, like, if we're talking chasing like all time, I agree with you that he's chasing Derrick, but I think who's better right now is Saquon. I think he should be number 1 on the NFL top 100 when it happens. I think Saquon was the best football player on the planet.
Listen. We didn't plan this. This is completely off the hook. That's a good point. Do you think he should be number? Who do you think should be number 1?
I think he was the best football player every time he stepped on the field this year.
Hey, I'm going to say this again for TikTok, and I'm going to pretend you didn't just say that. So the top 100 is coming out this summer. Do you think Saquon is going to be at the top of that list?
I think he was the best football player on the planet this year. I think he should be number 1. I think he should have been the MVP. It is what it is. Cool. I know it's a quarterback award, but I've just never seen at that position. Yeah. You don't see someone take over games at that position. The home run he hit to start off the Commanders game. Yeah. It was just like every time he gets the ball. I was surprised he didn't break one this game. Congrats, y'all stopped one nigga on the team. You couldn't stop no one else. Whatever.
Talk.
But like for real, like that. It got to the point every time he touched the ball, I thought it was gonna be a 60-yard. Yeah. Having 2-6 in the backfield can't be understated.
I'm not gonna say I think he should be 1. I think 1 should be 1. I think Jamar Chase was the best player I see this year, start to finish, play any type of football.
I love Jamar. I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at Jamar, but I do think
shout out Triple Crown.
I think this year Lamar is going to be number 1. I don't know if y'all know that. Lamar threw for 4,000 yards and ran for 900 yards.
It was a historic, one of the best offenses
Lamar
of all
did
time.
some shit nobody has ever done, and then had the 4th highest pass rating ever.
It was crazy.
No, listen, we all said this shit is going to be Josh Allen. It's gonna be somebody we got fit.
Nah, for real. Yeah. I do think Saquon has an argument for 1. I don't want you to think you sound crazy. I think it's going to go Lamar.
He'll be top 3.
Saquon, Lamar, Saquon, Josh Pat. I think that'll be the 4. I will argue though. Last year, Tyreek was number 1. Jamar, I think, will be 5. Yeah. I don't think they won enough. Because they were the stories were so different for the Bengals and Dolphins. It was like that year the Dolphins were just exceeding expectations, and Tyreek was close to 2,000 within the MVP discussion. So it was just painted differently. But Tyreek didn't get the Triple Crown. Right. Jamar got the Triple Crown, and was the reason that offense was one of the best in the NFL. So because of the narrative, I don't think Jamar will be number 1. Okay. But I don't. Yeah. You right, bro. Like that boy, I watched him play a lot this year. Yeah. That boy, because I was hate watching the Bengals all year and nervously watching them, and also enjoying myself a lot because I love Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Yeah. But them boys is cooking.
It's also like just the narrative aspect of it. Like it's like. Yeah, Jamar just went crazy for 3 touchdowns, but it's like y'all just still lost. Like it's like there was this time the amount of icing, game finish 60-yard runs that Saquon literally snatched the W from niggas. Yeah. I just feel like watching it happen, just the games of consequence that we needed so bad. I don't know if y'all remember the game against the Saints. This is when our season is still very much in peril, in week 3, and we need something to stay alive, and Saquon just rattles one off out of nothing, and that just saves the game damn near single-handedly. It's just
Yeah. He's different.
He's different.
He's different.
And his home run ability late, that is what it's so
He ices games.
It's so just scary.
It's like the Steph Dagger 3.
Yeah.
It's it's just different. It hurts your soul.
And it's a mental aspect of it. It's all right, we're trying to stop Saquon from getting a big run, so we're all out of our gaps, so he gets another big run.
Yes.
So this time we stay in our gaps, and he still gets a big run because we didn't run. It's so many things where it's I definitely agree. hell of a season for Saquon. If he's won, I'm not mad.
Before we get off of this, I just want to send an apology to a couple of fan bases. Because a couple of the fan bases at the bottom of the league, your Raiders, your Giants, you have no hope. You're
fans like us.
You're 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
You really watching your favorite player, hoping he wins.
1000%.
But these teams are in what I call NFL hell. Yeah. Because it's not purgatory where your team was like one of those teams that is just as okay with being complacent.
Steelers.
But this is a team that they actually want to win, and they're just not going to.
Right.
The Chargers, 49ers, Bills, Steelers, Cowboys, Vikings, and the Dolphins. Yeah. And the Bills, I want to say one more time, and the Bills I will say one more time.
Bills. I don't think the Cowboys want to win.
And I will say
low-key,
the Cowboys because Jerry pretends he does, and the pretending is enough.
Okay, that's
it's very much pretending, but they don't want to win.
Those teams are not winning anything in the next 10 years. Between Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, and Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, and fuck it, Drake May.
Fuck it, I'm here for it.
And
Abdul Carter.
I don't think it's any way those teams beat the teams that they're going to have to get to a Super Bowl. And again, I throw Bills in there because every time Josh has needed to rise to the moment, he has not. So I don't have a reason to believe that that's just going to change over the next, as I watch Pat, Lamar, CJ Stroud, and et cetera get better in that.
And the thing with that, and I'm glad you mentioned the Bills because they're like, oh my God, we got Josh Allen. In the NBA, Steph go to the Warriors, they go from, oh yeah, this is just a random team to this is the most expensive team in the NBA. Mm-hmm. In the NFL, like in the NBA, players win championships. In the NFL, organizations win championships.
Exactly.
150%.
Players don't win championships in the NFL. Organizations do.
Exactly.
All the organizations who have championships got a ton of them. Exactly. It's very few teams that got like, we went to one bowl, we won it, we haven't been back. And like, if you are in that like top tier, like you said, like you've seen 4 Super Bowls in your life. Mm-hmm. Falcons fan, seen one in his whole life, never been back. Like, it's people who have never even breathed that air of your team being in that, and they're like 25, 30 years old. He's a Cowboys fan. He hasn't watched a meaningful game in 20 years. Like, and I think what you see, especially later in the playoffs, is you got to be a great player with a great coach, with a great organization around you.
With a great owner. It comes down from the fucking owner.
It comes down to everything.
The money you spend. Like,
that's why the Super Bowl celebration has more people on the field than anything.
Ever.
Because
it takes everybody.
Many people come together for an NFL team to win a Super Bowl. It takes from the, like you guys said, from the owner down. Yeah. From the owner down. And give me 3 minutes and we can get to Kendrick.
Bet.
Look, bro. I know he's your darling boy. I know he married Haley Steinfeld and they the golden couple. Yeah. I know the team wasn't supposed to be good this year, and for some reason, because NFL analysts are bad at their job, we take that into consideration in a vote that when we shouldn't.
Well, I thought they were bad. Now I think they're good.
Well, I thought they were bad, and they're not. So, whoa, he should win MVP. Yeah. So I want to address this horrific MVP Josh Allen won. And it makes me sad because I do really like Josh Allen more than these two gentlemen here.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
I love Josh Allen. He is one of my favorite players to watch. I watch a lot of Bills games. I've watched probably 15 Bills games this year.
I will say his stock rise with me, though. I think with you, too, right? Like, I think, like, not really? Not even, okay, never mind.
He's the same nigga I thought he was.
I love Josh.
He's gained points with me. He's getting better. He's getting better.
As long as he's in my division, he not shit.
Listen. Josh Allen is too good for y'all to hand him an MVP because y'all feel bad for him. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen is too good for y'all to just hand him an MVP because y'all feel bad for him. If Lamar Jackson is first team All-Pro, then he is the MVP of the NFL. Yep. If you don't want to say Lamar is the MVP of the NFL, then give it to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Because let me explain something to you. If your criteria for the MVP was what you voted on Josh Allen, then Patrick Mahomes should have won.
Easy.
Patrick Mahomes lost one game.
Yep.
He was 15-1 as a starter. He had 28 touchdowns. He only had 4 more interceptions than Josh did.
Yeah.
And his team was 15-1. Patrick Mahomes should have won the MVP based off of the criteria you voted for. But that you didn't have a criteria you voted for. You guys just wanted him to win the award because you felt bad or because you thought the team wasn't going to be good this year.
Yeah.
Usually, and this is what pisses me off about the vote in the MVP conversation is y'all want to make the award something it's never been.
Yeah.
It was like the year when James Harden and LeBron were in the conversation and they started tallying totals for the year. And was like, look at LeBron's totals for the year.
Yeah.
It was like, nigga, y'all have never done that for an MVP vote in history.
Yeah,
why are we doing this now?
Yeah.
For the MVP vote, it has never been, oh, but he's just so much more valuable to his team.
Yeah.
He has Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes won an MVP with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Brady won one with Randy Moss. Aaron Rodgers won one with Devontae Adams. Multiple, I might add. Peyton won it with Edgerrin James and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. We can go down the list.
Kurt Warner played on the greatest show on turf.
On the greatest show on turf, and the next year, his running back won the MVP.
Yeah.
Or the year before. The year before he got it. The year before. God, the year before.
Could you imagine Derrick Henry winning the MVP last year?
And then Lamar getting it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So we do all these twists and turns to make an award that has been who is the best player in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
That is what the MVP is. It is what it's always been. Lamar Jackson was the best player in the NFL this year and should have won the award. For those of you talking about last year, there was no one to give the award to because it's a quarterback award. I was on the boat, Ish. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey should have won the MVP last year.
1,000%.
But because quarterbacks don't win skill positions don't win the award, they were going to give it to the quarterback of the best team because Lamar beat every good team, and they didn't only beat them, they dominated them.
Smack the shit out of
Brock Purdy was bad against good teams. Dak Prescott was bad against good teams. Josh Allen led the league in turnovers. He had 20 turnovers. Yeah. He wasn't winning the MVP like that. Nope. So this year and last year are not the same. If last year Lamar had the year he had, but Patrick Mahomes threw for 4,200 yards and had 900 yards rushing, Patrick Mahomes would have won the MVP.
Facts.
So when we flip it to this year, and Lamar Jackson is fourth all-time in QBR, is the first quarterback with 4,000 yards, 4,000 passing, and 800 yards rushing, but that's actually 900 yards rushing. He throws 40 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. He throws 41 touchdowns. He has 45 total touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
And them picks was fake.
And none of the picks were his fault. Not one. He did not throw an interception that year. When an NFL player plays to that level, you award him with the MVP. You don't give it to the other guy because we feel like he should have one because we feel bad. Tony Romo said, I voted for him because I felt bad for him. Yeah. That is asinine.
Ridiculous.
Someone voted Lamar Jackson 4th on their ballot. That is asinine, and they should never vote again. Dan Orlowski got laughed at on ESPN for his reasoning for voting for Josh Allen because there is no good reasoning for it, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, no.
It's sickening.
Hilarious.
It's sad. And again, Josh Allen is too good for you to give him a pity MVP.
1,000%. I just want to hit a point on the Dan Orlowski thing. They were like, why is nobody listening to Dan? It's so childish that they're laughing. Fam, if you say something funny on the set, niggas are going to laugh at you. If you want to explain why you voted Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson, that is your right. Do your best. But you can't say who he played against and not think niggas are going to laugh at you is that was one of the reasons why you voted Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson played against Josh Allen and blew the doors off him.
And Josh Allen was 2-3 against teams with the running record.
Yeah, one of your points was a Lamar point. Like, that is why people just don't take it seriously. And I do want to say, I've talked a lot from the Brady perspective. The NFL MVP more so than the MVP, I think is. And it's really credit to Roger Goodell, I believe, just the NFL dominating all parts of the media and how the award is presented. But it's been the most subjective MVP for me, at least, of all the major sports.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Cam got it one year. It was like, man, you got to give Cam the award. Superhero. Yeah. And it was like, all right, well, Matt Ryan got hot at the end of the year. It was like, all right, so we could give Tom Brady missed 4 games. They were the worst team. Came back, was the best quarterback for 14 weeks. It was like, all right, we'll give it to Matt Ryan. And then it was like, well, Aaron Rodgers really hasn't done anything, but he's got a great touchdown interception ratio. He might be. It was like, okay, it might be him. And then the next year it was like, oh well, look at the yards. Even though like every year it was a different thing. Like one year I think
there's no consistency.
The Bucs year Tom Brady had more passing yards, more passing touchdowns, like everything. It was like, well, the touchdown interception ratio. The next year Brady had the better touchdown interception ratio. It was like, well, Aaron has all these yards in games versus big teams.
They don't know what they want, bro.
It is meant to keep, and I don't want to disrespect Josh Allen in this, but I feel like the MVP is used in the NFL to award the players who will never be in those games. Mm-hmm. Like Aaron Rodgers, all his MVPs were after the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, this MVP, it's like you're not gonna make the Super Bowl. But like Matt Ryan, like, oh, you got here, yeah, you should be the MVP this year. Like it's like the hottest guy who we don't think is gonna be around because, like you said, like Mahomes has what 2 MVPs? Like realistically, he could have 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. But you're just not going to give it to the best player every year. And I think that's what you saw. And just side note, we gave so much credit to the Eagles this year. We gave so much props. Well, I want to say this year, this episode, so much props to Saquon and Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. But this kind of falls on y'all too. Because if Jalen Hurts doesn't get tush pushed 15 times,
no, for
Saquon
sure.
Barkley is the MVP.
Without a doubt.
No cap.
Without a doubt.
Saquon should have 30 touchdowns.
Without a doubt. But
no, funny shit.
Yeah.
No funny shit. He should have 27 rushing
bro,
touchdowns.
it's
like,
disgusting.
And he would have won the MVP.
He would have.
Easy.
He would have.
Easy.
But listen, man,
But
it's
listen,
unguardable.
It's
unguardable.
All's well. And
it ended with this.
And
it ended with this.
And this show, I would say more than others, we have been so pro tush push. Like,
yeah, for sure.
The first time I started to do that shit, I said I would do that shit every single drive.
Bro.
I would start every drive with that shit. Like,
bro, listen,
set the tone.
There was a game, I forget what game it was, a few weeks ago, at some point in the season, and we were like at the 2-yard line. Yeah. I think it was like when we were trying to really push the Saquon MVP thing, bro. Yeah. We tried to give him the ball, and Saquon lost 3 yards. Yeah. we were like, bro,
like, what are we doing?
What am I doing? I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna tush push that shit every time. Like, I'm sorry, bro.
Listen. 3rd and 4 in 2 tush pushes. Like
my thing is this year and going forward, they need to make it a separate category for touchdown. It should say touchdown and
tush push touchdown.
Yeah. So we can differentiate actual rushing touchdowns versus tush push. That's the only way I feel.
Yeah, because he's really gonna end up with the most rushing TDs of all time.
Type shit.
It's gonna be nasty.
As
a nigga who has drafted Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round of fantasy several times, he just lead out alone.
Y'all keep sleeping on, if you will. He's getting the
Jalen Hurts, one of the best fantasy football players ever. Like,
yeah, no, it's nasty what the MVP is, and I'll just say, why are black QBs the ones who are held the most accountable for having help on their team? Why is Lamar being criticized for having Derrick Henry when y'all have never given him an X receiver in his entire career?
And
then as soon as they don't have the help, it's low. If he would be better if he had help.
Like, or it's like, well, he should just make them better. Like, okay, he did. Like,
this nigga is throwing to Rashad Bateman, making him like look nice.
That's my thing is like, he just got to make them better. Like, okay, if he's on Madden, let's say on a 70, I made him 10 points better. That's a big jump. He just at 80 now. It's not like the nigga cold. Like, he just like a little bit better. Like,
I think Baltimore is one of the only franchises that will willingly employ Nelson Aguilar. Like
in a playoff game.
I just think it's really crazy.
Fam, the last great Ravens receiver was Steve Smith.
When he was 30.
At the end.
When he was 30.
At the end.
And Steve Smith.
And Quan at the end.
At the very end.
Like y'all.
Zay Flowers was their first Pro Bowl receiver. Yeah. You know how easy it is to make a Pro Bowl?
That shit is crazy.
I'm surprised.
Drake made Pro Bowl her first year. Mac Jones, first year of Pro Bowl.
I'm surprised the Chiefs grabbed D-Hop because that's like a classic Ravens move. Like that would have been what y'all would do. Like,
type shit. All right. Eagles, congratulations. Jalen Hurts, most importantly, congratulations, bro. We love to see a black quarterback winning 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl and the blacker one coming out on top. What a Black History Month this has been. But y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we're here to do. We saved this for the end. I will put a notice on the show just in case this is what you're here for, of where we started this. But y'all know, as in doing this podcasting thing, you have episodes where sometimes it's like in July, I told Ish we was doing a show and I was like, watch us work because it was nothing to talk about. Yeah. But we talked for 2 hours about absolutely nothing because we're nice at this.
Yep.
But then some days like this, you wake up ready. You walk through your house talking to yourself about what
I'm well rested, brother.
I'm well rested.
You write notes in your phone.
Yeah.
You ain't smoking before the show.
Nope.
You taking all type of precautions.
Or you smoke for 40 minutes like I did.
Some niggas focus different. You feel me?
Listen, instead of a regular session, you just lock in on one.
Like, it's different.
Yeah.
The feeling in the air is different coming out of a day like this, boy. Coming out of a day like this, boy. Boy, the pods, the content, the spaces, everything is just feel a little different.
Listen, this is definitely one of those days. If we wanted to, this would be 4 hours.
Yes.
If we wanted to, this would be in a 4.5 hour.
If we were getting paid, this would be a 4.5 hour podcast.
Facts.
Easily.
Yeah.
So, I am going to give the floor to Ish first because to set the scene, Ish and Charlene have been arguing. Is Kendrick Lamar going to say anything regarding the PDF? Don't say that word while we're doing the PDF. Or is he going to leave it out? Is he going to rap that first verse? Is he going to change that first verse? Is he even going to perform the song? It was so out of the world that he would perform Euphoria. We had that conversation one time, said no, and never brought it back up again.
Yep.
But Ish was adamant on the side of, he's going to perform that song and he's going to say everything.
Yep.
And I was not on that side. I said he's either going to change the song or he's going to rap some of the verse, change the middle of it, and then give the A minor part because I did think that would come on. Mm-hmm. And then the lawsuits happened. And I told Ish the last time we spoke about it, the last time we had Charlene on, anything goes. After them lawsuits came out, I said anything goes.
Facts.
And so when the performance happened, before the performance ended, when that nigga said, say Drake, and smiled at the camera, I picked up my phone and I said, hey Siri, call Ishmael. And I called Ishmael on FaceTime.
Yep.
I didn't even speak to him. I just looked at the camera so he knew that I knew what he knew. And then I sent him a voice message. And I was like, brother, I'm sorry. I apologize for doubting you. And I got tears in my eyes because niggas don't understand what that shit just meant. Ish, take it away.
Listen, I really just want to say real quick, when I watched that episode of the pod, why didn't you take the $500 bet? I laughed at her. I'm sorry. I love you, Charlene.
Listen,
much love, but
listen, it's
I
crazy.
want a PS5.
Listen, no cap. And if you watch it, no cap, because I watch. Listen,
you held back. I see you.
In preparation for the Super Bowl, I definitely went to make sure I knew which episode it was. It was the timestamp. I got listen.
I was like, bro, she is crazy.
Listen, Charlene's family, so it's restraint.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to put that on her.
Yeah.
Because and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. There was never a question whether he was doing that song.
That was never a question.
And I never felt better on that opinion take than after the Grammys. I was watching. I was like, this nigga just won 5 Grammys in 4 hours. He's going to play that song.
It was never a doubt. It was never a doubt. I never questioned it. I didn't even need the Grammys.
But at the Grammys, Super Bowl, this is solidified as one of the biggest songs ever. It's out of rap beef. It's out of rap songs. The song has not been out a year. Mm-hmm. Think about that. Mm-hmm. The song has not been out 12 months. Mm-hmm. This is the longest I've seen a song have legs. Of course, because you dropped the video, you do the Super Bowl, it's a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is the longest song I've seen have legs in modern streaming rap. Maybe before streams and you didn't drop an album every week and everybody, labels weren't working. When was the last time a song lasted 9 long months?
And it's still banging, though.
It's about to go number 1 again.
A rap song, I want to say.
Oh, and a really rap
pop artist.
Fam,
yeah, they're
I don't understand.
A rap
Shaboofy
song
is still in the top 10. Do y'all know that?
Yeah,
okay, keep
crazy.
going.
Listen, that's crazy. But rap song with 3 verses. Bringing the 3rd verse back. And it's real rap. It's real. It's so much about this halftime show.
It checks every box.
It checks every single box. And just to hit the halftime show, I really wanted to get this off my chest before we got like too deep into like, of course, like our perspectives and like what we liked about it. But I really feel like, and of course it's you Drake niggas, but y'all are trying to get people to miss the forest for the trees right now. Because what I'm seeing, and I'm not gonna say no names, Steven, is like a lot of niggas trying to take something from Twitter and apply it to the rest of the world. Because after Daniel called me, my mother called me.
Oh my God.
And you know what my mom didn't see? The set list on Twitter. Like, it got 75,000 likes. 25 million niggas have watched it. Nobody was not surprised. It didn't change the performance. Like, what is happening, I feel like, is there, like, people are trying to find the minuscule things to try to change, like Daniel said, what we just saw. Like, I think the mic was low. I think up until All the Stars, the mic was low, and then after that, it sounded better. But it doesn't matter.
I knew what the song was. It
don't matter to me because this performance will outlive the mic being low.
Yeah. Please hold that thought. I want to say two things. TV performances are very, very hard. Yeah. And the sound in the stadium, no matter how much you rehearse, when you get 80,000 people in one place, the sound is going to change. So they probably were not able to, they probably had the mic at a perfect spot for when the rehearsal was, and it just didn't go that way. Secondly, if you go back and listen to performance, they fixed it.
That's what I was going to say.
That's literally what I said.
They do that now. They do that now.
What I was going to say is, first of all, if you really watch it, first of all, it's not for a live performance. Mm-hmm. That show was filmed for the world.
It was for TV.
It was perfectly for TV. Yes. If you were at that show, it was not as good an experience as if you were watching it on your phone, which sounds crazy.
And anyone will tell you that if they've been to the Super Bowl.
And they were in the middle of you got to remember, they're in the middle of a 100-yard field. Mm-hmm. It was not a concert where it should sound like, it shouldn't sound like the pop-up. Yeah. It's not a basketball court.
They really try to compare it to that.
Literally. That's what's crazy, but what we just saw was one of the greatest halftime shows ever, which will be remembered that way because it is one of the 5 most important days of rap music history, is what we just saw. That is why I think niggas are not understanding why, I liked it, but maybe I wouldn't have played Peekaboo. It was more important than the order of the songs and what he said. Like, to be, first of all, the message that was shown, the USA game with Uncle Sam, him losing a life and bringing his homies with him, things like trying to show you how he's navigated to the place that he was. Like, that aside, just it being that unapologetically rap is why it's so important. Yep. Niggas are like, yo, it's a bigger demographic, they don't know this. Fam,
it doesn't matter.
You live in a white world. Your entire world is what they went through for a halftime show.
Oh, my God.
When I watched the Coldplay halftime show, until Beyonce and Bruno Mars came out, I didn't like it either. I love Adam Levine. I wasn't moved by Maroon 5. I love Justin Timberlake. I wasn't moved. All these artists where it's like, okay, let's take Kendrick's 11 songs, and I'm going to look at these 11 songs. Like, yeah, those 11 songs that we've heard these niggas perform a million times maybe was more enjoyable for the average listener. It's crazy. Of course, we're going to talk about the beef, but going all the way back to Control, this is not for the fan of Elvis. This is for black people. For black people. Everything you saw in that was for black people. All of it. Start to finish. Even if you don't know nothing about the Drake beef. You know, okay, this nigga has music that's pretty good, and this nigga is black. Like, really black. Not like I'm black when I want to say nigga so I can go back and do these passion fruit pop songs. Like, I'm really, really black. We in the back of a GNX. When we go to do Man at the Garden, it's nothing but niggas with gold teeth. It is black. It was amazing start to finish. One of the favorite halftime shows I've ever seen. Shout out Dave Free, PJ Lang. The cinematography was amazing. There were so many because you have to have this in the Super Bowl. And I don't want to shit on you, Daniel. But when we talked about the Wayne thing, it was like, man, it's just so much like stuff going into it. It's not just about how good the music is. Like, man, it was a lot going on just across the entire performance that people are still just realizing.
Literally.
And that is, and you can speak to this, I'm going to hand it off. It's like being a Kendrick Lamar fan before the performance, they said, what should people look for? And if you asked a regular artist that, you'd be like, hits, people get music, you want to feel good. That nigga said storytelling. Like you niggas who be like, Kendrick could be like, man, no wind blew. And y'all be like, yo, he was talking about this, that, and the third, about how this is grand. Like, no, that's literally the artist he is.
You're just not used to artists being that fucking creative because that doesn't exist anymore.
Niggas are like, well, it was boring. Fam, it's less than 24 hours. It's about to pass the most watched previous one ever. Niggas was telling me about Usher performance. His was at 26, 27 million when I looked. He's at 26 million already. Hasn't been up 24 hours. Like, this was one of the most important nights for rap because it was no holding back. We gonna do the Ask GK verse. Like, yeah, my niggas here. Like, it was amazing to watch. So much syllogism, so many things. Songs that I like more now than going into it. So I'm gonna hand it off just like, shit, man, somebody say, man, I go, let's 30, 40 minutes.
Bro, listen. Yesterday, we just saw, first of all, y'all saw 2 ass whoopings on national TV. I just gotta put it out there again.
Yeah.
But,
two muggings.
Yes. And it's just like, y'all just saw the best rapper be the best rapper. He's been the best rapper for the past year. Yeah. And it's just a full-on display. And I love that you mentioned, like, I don't know if whoever audience-wise will watch the interviews that he had going into it. Also, thank God we got him to do interviews again. Yeah. Like, he's just so important.
We just got to get him to do Super Bowl every year, interview.
Yeah. Like, I'm just, having him be present, like, especially being a Kendrick fan, like you said, for years, where you just know there's so many years where this nigga doesn't exist. Yeah. And it's just like, bro, like, it's just so good when he actually chooses to exist. But he's really this person. And the Drake fans, whatever, the haters, whatever it is, y'all just want to make the jokes about it, but at the end of the day, like, he's authentically black. He's authentically a rapper, a true MC. The way that he was manipulating the pockets and the improvising and the different bars he would add in and out, the way he would take the curses out and, like, still have the shit rhyme.
No, so hold that thought. On Not Like Us, when he was walking, he needed to catch his breath. Yeah. And, the line is, what is the bar about Tito?
None of them niggas to the cross, they walk
he was
around.
He was like walking around with tees.
He said walking around with tees because if you rap and if you've ever rapped, you need that that makes you lose your breath. So he said tease so he could catch his breath again instead of saying tease O because that O would have caught the air. Right. That's insane. Like, that is insane, dog. But
you're watching a master at his craft and everything that he does, and y'all just gotta respect it. And then, like, from what you said, like another thing he said in interviews is, like you said, the storytelling. Like, this, and he wanted to make sure to get, like, bro, I'm not mad he didn't do all right. We already saw him do all right.
Thank you.
Like, he's already been at the Super Bowl. I don't know if y'all realize this. Why am I gonna come up here and give them the same shit? I'm here to give you a different performance. Right. And just, like, it can't be understated the ability. First of all, the first solo hip-hop artist to do the halftime show. Yep. You're watching a rapper that manipulating in 100-yard field, like, moving around. There's choreography. My boy is dancing. Like, I'm sure
stages are being moved.
I'm sure whenever you talk about Kendrick Lamar, you don't mention dancing, but, like, he's moving with choreographers. Like, they're doing their thing. Yeah. I don't even have to get into, like, we'll get into it, but, like, man, from the American flag to Uncle Sam to, is that Serena Williams?
Is that Serena Williams?
Bro.
Man at the Garden. So I wanted to hit this. Can I?
Yeah.
No, you go.
So I mentioned this, I don't know if y'all saw it. So Man at the Garden as a song, as a Kendrick fan, is probably just off rip one of my favorite songs.
100%.
But the syllogism behind it adds to, and because when we did our Kendrick list, all my favorite songs, like the super deep, like
I love it though.
So, okay, let me paint the picture. Boom. So when he transitions to Man at the Garden, all the dancers in white follow him, and all the dancers are not participating with the song or the beat kind. They're singing along, but you can tell they're not on key. They're not like tapping along, and somebody said it felt like syllogism for, especially what he was talking about, how like serious that song is that those were like the dead homies, like the people who were not there. And I was like, Man at the Garden. There's a Compton cemetery called The Garden. And so Man at the Garden is literally him there talking to these people that have always been with him, even if they're not there at the time. And that's what I felt like that side of the performance was.
And then after he said that, after he finished the verse, Bam came on. I call him Sam Bam. Yeah. He came on and was like, no, you're not following the rules.
Yeah.
Scorekeeper deducts one life.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that, when he first came out, he said, no, that's not what we do. This is too ghetto. This is too loud. Yep. You're not understanding. And that's when he did DNA and Humble and Squabble Up and all his hype songs. And then he ended it with the Man at the Garland. And then Sam transitioned and ended with Deduct One Life, emphasizing that when you don't follow, when you don't conform, and you are not in what they determine is right, what they determine is moral, then you perish.
Yeah.
That is what they're saying.
1,000%.
But to the performance, first off, it was hella niggas in that car. What in the fuck was that?
No.
There was so many people in that damn car.
That was definitely a Hispanic car.
That was crazy.
What's bro name? That was Dodie 6 GNX. That was a Mexican GNX. Like.
Boy, but and then secondly, that nigga look cool as hell, bro. He looks a cool ass nigga.
Listen, we haven't said the word so far. Let's just say it. Hella aura on the street.
Hella aura, boy.
That chain.
Listen,
but
all
that
of
chain, you can see that chain from the moon.
You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, hey, Jalen Hurts was in the locker room. He made sure his shit was right.
So me and Ish are here because Ish said this is one of the most important rap nights we've ever seen. And when I was walking through the house talking to myself, because Taylor wasn't here today, and I wanted to get my thoughts out because I pod better when I was just spoken everything out freely.
Yeah.
I said this was one of the 5 most important nights in rap history.
Yeah.
And Kendrick said something in that they tried to trick us, but you can't fake influence.
Yep. Tried to rig the game.
They tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Yep.
Dude.
Crazy.
I don't think y'all understand the magnitude of what Kendrick Lamar just got on that stage and did.
Yep.
Because he also said the revolution will be televised, but y'all chose the wrong guy.
Yeah, chose the wrong nigga.
Oh, my God.
Because this is the thing, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Kendrick Lamar, in the interview with Ebro, kept talking about how important this culture was and how amazing this culture was and how rap is an art form. And then as Ish said, he spoke about he is going to focus on storytelling in this performance out of all things.
Yep.
When Kendrick Lamar gets on that stage and doesn't perform one pop song, doesn't perform his song with Taylor Swift,
No Bad Blood,
doesn't perform his mega hits that you know, such as Mad City,
right.
And he focuses on the essence of what this shit is, and that is rap music in front of the world. He is telling you something.
Yeah.
He is telling you something.
Yep.
He is showing you that this is us. This is what we do. This is what it is. Because what you guys know, this is so important because if Drake would have got on that stage as the first rapper to headline.
Yeah. Did Hotline Bling to start.
Thank you, Ishmael. Thank you, Ish.
Get up there and do
Hotline Bling. Controller. One dance.
Just hold on, we're going
Just
home.
hold on, we going home.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have got the essence.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have got the culture. You wouldn't have got the feeling of what this rap shit is.
Yeah.
Because what they want you to do when you get on them stages in front of the world is do exactly what Ish said.
Pander to them.
Bring your world to us.
Yeah.
Bring your world to us and make us feel comfortable.
Yeah. Hell no.
No.
Nope.
No.
This is our shit.
This is my world, and you finna get a taste into it. It said how they felt in them 12 minutes is how you walk around every day. That is so powerful, dog.
That's your life.
That's your life.
Yeah.
Them people in that stands didn't know what was going on.
Nope.
Them people on the internet talking about, man, what was that? I couldn't even understand them. Nigga, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
Theo Von.
Yeah, Theo Von.
Nigga, this ain't for you, Shane Gillis.
Yeah, fuck Shane.
Nigga, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
This is for us.
Yeah.
That is so important to get up on the stage as the forefront, as the biggest rapper in the world, and rap.
Yes.
I rapped. I said a message. And this leads me to my next point. Drake, before we get into all the fun stuff, the happy stuff, the jokes, let me explain something. Because I see a lot of y'all misinterpreting something. Y'all keep speaking on how he needed Drake for this. Yeah. And how
he made the moment about Drake.
Oh, he made the moment about Drake. Yeah. Oh, Drake this, Drake that. Let me explain something to you. Because if you've ever been to a Sunday Baptist church, you know what I'm talking about. Especially in the South. A Sunday Baptist, where the Easter service go 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Preacher up there sweating. Yeah. Went through 3 towels.
You don't know when you leaving.
Listen,
you don't know when you leave.
It's 1 p.m. kickoff. It's 1:29.
When he start that sermon, he starts it with the story. Because he got to grab your attention.
That's true.
He got to reel you in. He know kids is in the audience. He know 14, 15, 16-year-olds in the audience. So he got to start with a story. Because he know if you start with a story and you start with a joke, it'll grab their attention. And then as you preach a message, you reenact and you interpret and you bring in the story to help push your message forward. Because you know if you got up there and you said, the Bible said 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a boring monotone voice, you wouldn't get through it.
Nope.
You wouldn't get through to it.
If you just get up there and read the book of Job,
it ain't gonna work.
Nope.
So we add a story in the front. We add a little joke. We walk up on stage with some charisma. Hey, Miss Bethel. Hey, Esther. How you doing? Yep. That's how we walking on the stage. And then we gonna say, I got a story for you. I got a parable for you.
Yeah.
It was this boy one day, and then he go into the story.
Yep.
And then throughout his message, he talking and he references story, and then he end the message with the story and the message connected.
Yep.
Kendrick Lamar used Drake as a story. Nice. Drake was not the message of the performance.
Yeah.
It's just spoke about how that performance has 26 million views.
Yep.
You know why? Because people want to go for the story.
Yep.
People are there for the entertainment.
Yep.
But Kendrick Lamar in that Ebro interview said, this is about storytelling. This is about storytelling.
Bigger than music.
And in storytelling can get a little boring if you don't know how to grab attention.
Yeah.
So I use the biggest rapper in the world and the biggest rap song in the world and the biggest and best diss track ever to grab your attention so I can paint a story. Yeah. But Drake is not the message of this. You get the message after you watch it the second time, the third time, and the fourth time, because you're going to come back to watch it because you want to watch the story. You want to watch the drama. You want to see Drake.
Yep.
But after you watch that the third time and you see him in the American flag, you're going to start thinking.
Yeah, like what is that?
After you see Samuel L. Jackson in the Uncle Sam outfit, you're going to start thinking.
Like what is Sam saying? Like
when you start hearing the inserts in the middle of the verses that he changed up, you're going to start thinking.
Yep.
And you're going to realize that boy was sending a message and he used somebody as the story to push his message forward. Yeah. And that is what art is. Yeah. That is what an artist is. And on the biggest stage in the world, you saw an artist. You saw a rapper. I want to say that again. Because when niggas start getting big, they start calling themselves
I'm not
artists.
a rapper.
I'm not start calling themselves pop artists. That is a rapper.
We see
and
you, Yachty.
He got up on that stage and he rapped.
Yeah, exactly.
We see you, Yachty.
He got up on that stage.
We see you, Tommy Richmond.
And he rapped.
Rapped his ass off.
He used Drake as a story, but that boy wasn't the message.
And just aside, like everything you're saying is so important. Like we can get into like the craziest moments, but like fam, niggas like you're gonna get up there and do a diss song. First of all, for it, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It is only right that one of the biggest nights in rap music is about something that will only ever happen in rap music. these pop stars, these R&B singers, they get into it all the time.
They don't do this.
They will never, because they can't.
I ain't gonna drop a singing song at you.
Their art form can't. Like, this is so specific to rap. This is the pure essence of what rap is. Niggas be like, I study battle rap for a living, but why is he doing a battle song? Like, fam, hearing the Euphoria beat come in,
I was like, bro, I was so set on him not performing that song. It took me 10 seconds to realize it was Euphoria.
No, we screamed the whole time. I had to go watch after I left. I had to go watch it. We screamed the entire show.
Literally screamed the entire.
Like he had changed song. He was changing songs. We didn't even we were screaming the entire. Like when he started doing Not Like Us, I feel like I passed. Like I don't remember anything after Not Like Us started, because I literally couldn't believe this nigga broke the fourth wall. First of all, to look you in the eye when he said it.
Say Drake. Hey, listen, that's not a sane man. I'm trying to tell you.
Listen, what you said.
Look
earlier,
at his face.
Listen, thank God he's an artist.
That's
God he's an artist. He's not sane.
Oh,
That's the one thing. Like, I was confident he was gonna do Not Like Us. It was never a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I did not think he was gonna say Drake's name.
That nigga performed Not Like Us, and then came on that bitch and said, "We turned his TV off.
We turned his TV
TV off."
Listen, it's crazy. We talked about so many great parts of the performance. For me, the most entertaining part, or the most magic moment for him, was the I don't want to call it's probably still a quartet, but the quartet of background singers he was talking to, and the little Not Like Us dance they were doing.
Right before he started,
because for everyone that's like, we didn't know the words of Peekaboo or fam, do you know how interested my parents were when they were like, what song is he trying to play? Like, because I know how interested they were, because when I get home, they are trying to figure out, like, wait, why didn't he want, I love that song, why didn't he want to play it? Like, And I'm explaining to them what is going on. And that is the storytelling. Because you know they love to sue. It's like, what did he mean? Like, oh, it's about Drake. It's people who didn't know that song is about Drake that are connecting it now just because the way he presented it. But it was so awesome to watch before, because, like, the lead up to it, we're 3 lawsuits in, everybody got an opinion. Oh, I wouldn't do it. I would do it. Or you don't make it about Drake. This, that, and the third. Everyone's like, nothing kind of big happened. Fam, him saying, like, if 2 weeks ago I said he's going to do he's going to do a whole verse of Not Like Us, Certified Boogeyman, wop, wop, wop. He gonna say A minor into the mic and drop the crowd out. He gonna say it into the mic,
sure y'all hear them
and let the crowd say it. Y'all be like, okay, it's probably gonna be a great Super Bowl performance. Yes, exactly. This is one of the most amazing Super Bowl moments, because, listen, the anticipation, the tension when he is doing that first part of the song, they're like, you really gonna do it?
And it just keep going.
He said,
bar after bar.
40 acres and a mule. More important than this music. Boy, with the president watching. Let lock in. Boy, lock in for the niggas just like, well, he's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be that, and he's not even that nigga, but he's still black.
Boy, what?
40 acres and a mule in front of all these white people.
It's bigger than the music.
Bigger than the music.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, boy.
Are you really gonna do it? Listen, and I might be a little psycho. Go watch it. Bump, 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 bump. Shout out Pharrell on the 4 count and walked it down. Literally walked him down. I know he got some hoe in him. Bully Death Row on him.
No, sir.
Echoing, yeah. I mean, it was just so calculated. I want to get back to the performance, but I really just want to even just speak from a macro perspective on Kendrick in general, just because, like, it's just so proud to listen, man. My team won the chip, and my favorite rapper just had that moment ever. Yeah. My favorite rapper ever, and I just really think we have to sit. I saw when y'all was talking about the pod about Patrick Mahomes about appreciating greatness while it's here. We need to do this for Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. Especially in an art form which is getting more and more diluted because there's so many artists now, which I'm not hating, you know.
They're using computers now, bro.
Bro, Kanye, listen, I know Kanye, your boy, he's trying to make AI.
Oh, I agree with you. Listen, they using computers now, bro.
I don't know if we can even say his name right now. So.
Yeah, I ain't know yet.
We might bleep it.
That's a fact.
But listen, the genre is just, and I don't want to. disrespect the genre because there's so many good artists.
Right.
Like, it's so many good artists. But as a whole, in general, it's just getting very diluted.
Yep.
A lot of the plot is getting lost. And to have someone this big at the forefront who's keeping the culture alive. And listen, I know a lot of people don't care for the Mask Off remix with Future and Kendrick.
Yeah.
But this
I
line,
love that. I love that remix.
Thank you. This line still rings off to this day. How y'all let the conscious nigga go commercial while only making conscious albums?
Like how?
He has never wavered. He has never stopped being conscious from beginning to end. Yeah. And y'all still let him be not one of the biggest rappers, but one of the biggest artists on the planet. Yeah. Where he's still going #1 and he's reaching this audience and he's still pushing these messages and has found it still to be a way that is digestible for even if the person doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. You still want to turn on and just bang to it at the same time. Like, it just checks every single box. And I just don't know. You know, people can have the GOAT debates when it's all said and done or whatever, but to have an artist be this intentional, have this many layers behind everything that they do, you can play damn backwards, and it's like, come on,
it's
bro.
A different album.
The creativity that he has to be this creative, this good at just purely rapping, and can do that at a halftime show. Like Ish said, like, we don't care if y'all were uncomfortable. They had Coldplay and Bob Dylan and all these...
Nigga like, I thought it was boring. Yeah. Bring U2 back out. Who cares what you think?
Bro, and also, while I'm giving flowers to Kendrick, we have to give our flowers to Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Hov.
Jay-Z is literally like the rap godfather.
Yeah.
Like, just keeping this shit alive, pulling the strings behind the scenes. He hasn't missed since he stepped in. And I don't want to name no names, but I have a homeboy. He was like, yeah, next year they should probably do like pop or rock or country, like, just to keep all the other demographics engaged. No.
And let me pick up there. Why do y'all care so much if they're comfortable? No. I'm so confused by that.
Bro, like,
why do y'all care so much if white people is uncomfortable for 12 minutes during the Super Bowl because they gotta watch us rap? Like, why does that make y'all so mad? Yeah. We don't watch them tap dance. We don't watch them steal awards from us. Yeah. We don't watch them steal our music. Right. We don't watch them steal everything from us. And for 12 fucking minutes during Black History Month, y'all niggas is mad a nigga is rapping?
Yeah, it was too much rapping.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, I don't understand. Like, and this be the issue with Drake fans thinking that Drake is rap music. Drake is Drake.
Thank you.
Drake is not rap music. Drake is not culture. That is Kendrick's problem.
Literally.
That is Kendrick's whole message for the past year. That y'all are confusing the essence of rap and Drake.
Yeah.
They're two different things. And I love Drake. Drake is one of my 3 favorite artists ever.
We love Drake. I love Drake too.
But I can understand, and I can understand what Kendrick's message is. I can understand the difference in a rap artist, someone that grew up in this culture and someone that was invited to it. Yeah. That is all. 1,000%. I don't understand. I have on here not conforming. Y'all want to conform to their standards because they have taught you from the beginning that white is right, and that is the biggest problem in our community is that we have a divide in between niggas thinking that it's just okay to be a nigga.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas is so uncomfortable in y'all own skin. It's okay to be a fucking nigga and to just live in nigga shit, to live in the trenches, to know that's your life, to get out of the trenches and still be a trench nigga. It's okay to be a nigga. They have taught y'all through media, through consumerism, through presidency, through all of this shit that white is right. And you have been conformed and been taught to believe that shit since you was a kid. And this nigga gets on the stage in front of the biggest audience in TV and gets on there and raps and invites us to the culture. And the first thing y'all niggas said is, that wasn't fun enough?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas?
It was too much rap. It was the first rapper ever to perform at halftime. Too much rapping.
It was the first rapper to ever perform at halftime, and y'all complaint is he rapped too much.
Listen, and I want to touch on, and it's crazy. I was crazy. I was actually working when y'all was having that conversation, and I was just like, listen, because I've been cooking Steve for a long time, so I kind of pick my battles because I just keep winning all of them. But what is so frustrating for me with the Drake, and it always frustrated me when I talked about him in context of other people, and you see me do this when I've had like the versus arguments, was all of Drake's best songs are not rap songs. And that is the problem I have with niggas. When niggas are like, well, he has to be the best rapper because he sells the most rap music. All of his most streamed songs
I wonder why.
are not rap songs.
I wonder why.
All of his most streamed songs are pop songs. His most streamed song, Controller. Second most streamed song, One Dance. After that, Hotline Bling, Passion Fruit. It takes a while to even get to the rap part of his hits. And that has always been my frustration was I love Drake with the melodies. And I like when Drake raps sometimes too. But the problem is niggas who, and I see this in sports a lot. I had to ask this nigga the other day. This nigga was like, "Did you tell me Matt Ryan not top 7 ever?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you started watching football in 2017." He was like, "No, bro, you're like," he was mad at me. I was like, "How old are you?" He was like, "Bro, I'm 21." I was like, "Yeah, you started watching football in 2016. Like, you physically just don't know." Like, for niggas who grew up thinking Drake was hip hop when they were 17. And now all they know from hip-hop is what Drake is. Let Kendrick and let me be a reminder. Let this entire be the shell shock you need to wake up. That nigga is not hip-hop. What you just saw is hip-hop. What you see Drake do, he is an artist. He's a pop artist who does rap music. He is not hip-hop, though.
And to think they're in the same era, too. Like, it's crazy, like, that people can be, like... I mean, obviously, Drake is Drake, but it's just, like, it's a shame to be brainwashed to even thinking that that's, like, the standard of hip-hop in Kendrick's era. Like,
and one more thing, because we're going to keep going, but just a sidebar. You niggas in this scaring the hoes music.
Oh,
first
my God.
First of all, any music sounds good around bad bitches. Period. Niggas be like, yo, you don't be listening. You wouldn't listen to the album around the right people. You got to be on a boat in Miami at 75. Fam, if I was on a boat in Miami at 75 degrees around bitches, I don't care what you're playing. I'm having a good time. Stop using that as a gauge to what, like, should I be allowed to listen to this? Is it scaring the hoes music? Listen, every time you see one of these pop girls talk about Kendrick, they love that shit. So apparently they know something that y'all niggas don't. Secondly, stop asking yourself, what do bitches do before you act? Because that makes you one. Why are you patterning yourself around what you think a woman would do in this situation?
You should probably just be yourself.
Literally, like, just be a grown-ass man and like what you like. And that is the problem with the Drake kind of side of it. And you see them dying I don't want to say dying, but, like, they're going out so sad is because they thought it was cool to, like, yeah, we're not gonna fuck with no other side. We only like Drake. Like, yeah, I like other artists, but it was Drake over everything. Fuck everybody else. Da-da-da. Like, yeah, niggas get tired of that. Niggas like, why is everybody turning on Drake? First of all, nobody likes Drake. And second, nobody like Drake fans. If Drake fans, if y'all don't know this, nobody wants to hear that shit. At all. We don't care, bro. We know it all. We know what songs streamed. We know what songs don't stream. It doesn't, like, we leave it there. The problem is when you niggas take it past that and you think, all right, yo, he probably smoked Kendrick because Drake do 89 million Spotify a month and Kendrick only do 75. So he's going to smoke Kendrick. It's like, all right, let's see when the songs come out. Like, when we see when niggas start rapping, when it's time, listen, everybody want to be Hove till it's time to do some Hove shit. When it's time to go to war with Nas, he was not Hove. And he lost, and I really like, it's this clip from The Simpsons where the old rich nigga, I think his name was Mr. Burns or something, I forget what he do, but he walk around the entire rest of the day just laughing to himself. Like, he's just walking around, just chuckling. Like, they show him, like, getting groceries. Like, fam, I was charging my car. I sat down, and I was like, fam, you this nigga. He said, all right. I dropped a song and won 5 Grammys on your head top. And then performed at the Super Bowl the next week. Like, no one will ever, niggas won't even raise their voice at Kendrick again. No. You will never see anybody else say a word.
It's just different what he did, bro. This was easily the greatest year in rap history.
Easy.
We can have the argument about the greatest
run. He's still got another month.
But the greatest year in rap history is this year and this year only, and it's not a question.
It's not a question.
What this man has done this calendar year is asinine. From Like That to Euphoria to 5 Grammys to GNX to Sold Out Stadium Tour. He is on a different type of tear this past 365, bro. Claps, commendation, all of that. I just made up a fucking word. But
no, that's how good he's doing, though, right now.
We're making up words.
Like, again, Kendrick, thank you. and like, thank you. Like, that's
Yeah.
where I wanted. Like, I wanted to start off. I
Yeah.
just got so emotional, but like, thank you, Kendrick. Like, because like it is so important for us to feel comfortable enough. Because it was a 14-year-old that watched that and think that shit is normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a 10-year-old that watched that and thought that shit was normal.
Yes.
It was an 8-year-old that watched that, and you understand what I'm saying, to where there's a representation with that where we think us is normal. We think us is good enough, because that's what you start thinking, and that's what the elders, and that's the trauma from the elders in the past generations of getting nervous when we're ourselves around them groups of people. Because I went to private school. I know what them looks look like. I went to private school. I know what them looks look like. I know the conversations. I know the snarky comments. I know how that shit get. And I was somebody that was in a position where I had to make the decision to either conform or stay who I was. And at fucking 15, that's a hard-ass decision to make.
Facts.
But at 26, 27, I understand that I came out on the better side of that shit, and it made me better. So, and that's shout out to my family. Like, that's all my dad, mainly my dad. That's mainly my dad. But, like, what he showed you was that these spaces that they curated are for them. And that is the conversation that people are going to start having over the next 2 or 3 weeks is, why did that make you so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just music. Yeah. At the end of the day, he didn't cuss. No. It was, 4 or 5 years ago, Jalen and Shakira was butt naked on stage.
Literally. Shake it, yeah.
It
Not in English.
It was no twerking.
Nope.
It was no ass out. Niggas was fully clothed. Yep. You couldn't see tattoos. It was one nigga with jewelry on. It was one car on the stage. It wasn't the ignorant, offense.
Mustard wasn't even sagging.
Niggas wasn't sagging their pants. Like, this was the representation of the art form at the highest level. Yeah. That's what y'all are missing.
Right.
See, that's what y'all are missing. Y'all so used to Sexy Red and Glow and the turn-up music and the shit you only hear in the club, you missing that there is a different side of rap. That at the essence of this shit was supposed to mean something. Yeah. At the essence of this shit was supposed to tell a story. Right. This was supposed to make you feel. This was supposed to be emotion. This was supposed to have soul in it. Yeah. So at the highest form, at the highest plateau of this, that is what this is. And that's what y'all are missing, is that y'all have, throughout this generation, y'all have gotten confused that rap music is only party music. Yeah. Rap music is everything, baby. That's what y'all confused with. Rap music can be anything. Rap music is everywhere. Yeah. Rap music is omnipotent, baby. Yeah. Like, rap music is everywhere. Yep. The problem is, y'all don't love rap music. Y'all like to party. Yeah. Y'all like to be in the club. Yeah. And y'all like the trap sound. Y'all like the sound of them beats. Yeah. Y'all don't love the music.
Y'all don't even know what they said.
You don't even know what they're talking about. What the
fuck they said.
Y'all can't explain the lyrics. Y'all don't know what this is. Y'all don't love what this is.
Right.
That's the problem. That's why that shit made you uncomfortable.
No, that's a fact. And I think you talk about him giving permission to be who you are. I think even just added to that is, fam, we don't gotta be niggas everywhere. It's like, we don't gotta be like, oh yeah, we gotta come out and do the super ratchet nigga shit. It's like, yeah, like, we don't gotta, exactly. Like, we don't gotta come out and be like either whitewashed or ignorant. And that is the biggest problem I have with so much that is presented in the culture for black people now, is you only see whitewashed or pure ignorance on TV. It's like, yeah, I watch baddies. Why? Why would you ever watch some shit like that?
Right.
And if you do see other black content, it's whitewashed. That is the biggest thing, where it's like, yo, to exist in these spaces, you have to be yourself. And I think what was so powerful about the performance to me was the entire message was, to get to where I am, you have to be yourself. But if you are, you still might lose anyway.
Yep.
And that is something that those other races, those other people cannot understand. And that is why I am so frustrated with the niggas watching, because you have to understand what he is saying. Like, yeah, the crowd was putting up words and Uncle Sam was telling a story. But if you look at the story, it starts, Uncle Sam is like, yo, play the game, da-da-da. And we talked about, Arch, you lose the first life. Now you're on thin ice. And right before he does Euphoria, the crowd says, no, wrong way. And he does it anyway. And if you watch, he's no longer playing the game. He's just walking across the field. And it ends after everything when he's running around. He does Not Like Us. And it says game over. And the TV's off. Because him doing what he wanted to do for so many people would be a giant risk. That is what he's showing you. He was like, yo, he did it with integrity. He did all the stuff that he did right. And it still could be over. And that is what is so important. And that is one of the, there's so many things that make this performance not a concert. So when you tell me that, oh yeah, Dr. Dre's was better, Usher was better, Bruno Mars was better, they had a better concert. There has never, as long as I have been watching the Super Bowl, there's never been a better performance.
That's what I came in here to say was that, and Nelson, hold your thought. Go, you next. I just wanted, because I wanted to say that. I'm glad you brought that up. This was not the best Super Bowl halftime performance ever with all the theatrics. Shawty Beyonce performed. We know.
Fact, twice.
We know that.
MJ.
This was the most important TV performance that you have ever seen.
Yeah.
This is the most important TV performance that you have ever seen. I want to hit one more point. You either see black people whitewashed or you see them in the sexy red form. Yeah. That is why sitcoms were so important.
Literally.
That is why Fresh Prince, the Bob Cousy show,
Bob Cosby show,
the Bob Cosby. I cannot
Bill?
believe this. Bill, what am I doing? I'm sorry, everybody.
I get the name is taboo. I get it.
We had to blank that out too. But
he censored it himself.
The Carmichael show. Everybody hates Chris.
And then everybody hates Chris. And that is why Atlanta was so important. Yeah. Because the difference between Atlanta and everything else was Atlanta just made a show about being
just regular black people.
Regular life as a black person.
Bro, Insecure.
We didn't have to make it funny.
Insecure.
Insecure is another one. We didn't have to make it. Blackish is another one. Blackish is a little bit more educational, but you didn't have to. With Atlanta and Insecure, you didn't have to bring jokes into this. We're just gonna be black on here, and y'all gonna come in here.
Life.
This is just what we do. This is how we live. That's
one of my favorite episodes of Atlanta start with this nigga playing FIFA.
Yeah.
And one of the funniest things to me is in the show, he asked at FIFA. He missed a goal. And it's so, a white person would never understand that. But it's a nigga I know, all niggas bad at FIFA. And we play it anyway, because it's fun. That is something you could never explain to someone else, bro. You could never explain that to a white person,
That
bro.
is hilarious, bro.
I love that part of just, existing in who we are.
And feeling comfortable in it. And that's what my point and why I get so frustrated with us is because we are so uncomfortable in being us. Yeah. And it's because they made us feel that way. And it's after a while we do have to take I understand trauma. I give so much grace to everything we went through, so I don't want it to sound like I'm coming off like a dick or anything like that, but it's just that we have to take some responsibility for us, bro. Yeah. We have to take some responsibility for our mentality and why we still are playing this victim per se. Yeah. And it's not really a victim because when you say you're playing the victim, that means you aren't the victim and we are. So I don't like to use that for black people, but we play into this role of we aren't in our base level, we aren't good enough. Right. That's why we code switch. That's why we do these things that when we walk into these spaces where we are not the majority, we shrink. Yeah. We shrink and turn into somebody we're not. Yeah. I will be the first to admit I didn't grow dread. I wanted dread since I was 14 years old, and I would not grow them because I was scared about how white people would look at me. That was a real thought I had in my head until I grew my dreads, and I was like, "Fuck it, I don't care what these niggas think about me." Yeah. And it's real shit like that, and it's I was having a conversation the other day, and I was saying I was like, the funny thing about black people with money and white people with money, you can see a white person with money and never know. You see a nigga with some money, you gonna know immediately.
You gonna know.
Because it's just honest. Like, and that be the thing is like, and we look at that as a negative in our community.
Right.
And it's like, no, nigga,
I
that
had to
is
work
who
for
we
this shit.
are.
I had to
like,
work for this shit.
why do y'all think the essence and the shit that makes us is a negative? Like, when we get some shit, we pop it. My nigga, I was in my office the other day. Not the other day. This was a minute ago. But I was in the office on the offsite. I walked in that bitch with a $1,500 outfit on. Then nobody know nothing. Half the niggas in the room make more money than me. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Nigga, I'm me. I do this.
I got that shit on.
This is what I do, nigga. I'm fresh. I walked in that bitch dripping. Them niggas in that bitch with running shoes on. With running shoes on and regular shit. I'm in this bitch dripping because this is who I am. And that makes them uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck? Y'all don't know that shit.
Why are you proud of yourself? Why are you allowed to have nice things? Why?
Yes.
And that is my... Listen, I could talk for hours about black people, culture, how I feel about it, what I feel like we should do. But one of my biggest frustrations is what you're exactly saying and what y'all are saying is like, one of my biggest frustrations is like the shit we do with Hove or I want to say another name, but he's actually crazy. So, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, Beyonce. It's funny they're married. It's a perfect example. Like, Beyonce is one of the greatest artists ever. Jay-Z is one of the greatest artists ever, and they are billionaires because of it. But we feel people want you to feel disconnected from Beyonce and Jay-Z's success because they're so rich. Like what? Like black people are the only group that demonize the successful people among us.
It's insane.
It is insane.
Like Mahomes, Mahomes is white. Mahomes is black. Stop calling him white. That nigga is black. Like being successful as a black person, I feel like should not be demonized. But the problem is niggas are trained to think black has to be poor.
Struggle.
Thank you.
Like as soon as you're successful, you're white.
Literally.
Thank you.
Niggas like, oh yeah, he hanging out with white people. Nigga, I have a job. Like I work here. Like what do you mean? I didn't live. Like niggas like, you leave the hood. Like think about this right now.
Oh my gosh.
What other race can you find anyone, speaking of the level of survivor's remorse that black people have?
No one. It
doesn't
is the crazy.
It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Nigga, I be feeling bad being here.
Bro, like that's the thing.
I live that right now. I be waking up some mornings like
I shouldn't
something's supposed to go wrong.
Yeah.
Bro, like I'm not supposed to feel like I wake up happy. I told Taylor about this. They was looking for me in the chat to play a Madden game. Ish was like, nigga, Daniel love his life. He got his socks off watching Succession. He is not studying the Madden game right now.
That shit was
and
hilarious.
like that's dead ass my nigga. I go on walks. I leave my house and I put in my headphones and I walk with no destination around something I call a community.
Yeah, just
like,
living life.
Like my life is like it gives me chills sometimes. Like I feel uncomfortable, but continue.
Yeah, like we feel like, and you see this so much where people. And what bothers me so much is when black people do it, but the identity of all black people being poor, and if you're black and you're not poor, you're not really black. Like what?
What does not really black mean?
Exactly. And why
do we do that?
And what is the dollar amount that disqualifies you from really being black? Like nigga, like when Beyonce or Kendrick or someone black speaks on an issue, he's like, who cares what this? Hey, you're rich, Beyonce. Who cares what you think? Fam, you're still black. You are always going to be black. And me and this nigga have had beef ever since I found out your name was not really Ish. Yeah. But when I found out you ain't believe in racism, that's when I really ain't fuck with you. Because, fam, you will always be a nigga. You are always going to be black. There's not a car you could buy, a house you could live in, a boat you could ride on, where you will not be black.
And it frustrates me so much because they act as if Beyonce still doesn't have to walk in these white spaces. They act as if Hov still doesn't have to walk in these A$AP Rocky, Wayne. Like they act like these people still don't have to walk in these black spaces as black people at these where they don't want you to have this much money. That's what y'all don't understand, bro. That's something y'all haven't clicked.
And you're not supposed to have that much money.
I look at it, I know this, and I listen because Joe Budden tells you a lot. Joe Budden gives a lot of game without giving a lot of game. And if you look at the podcasting space, they're giving out $100 million deals. Joe Budden is the best podcaster in the world. Yeah. That's not a hyperbole. That is not coming from somebody because I'm in rap music. I listen to podcasts. Yeah. Joe Budden, what he does on that microphone is special. He should be the highest paid podcaster on the planet right now. Easy. He's not, because they don't want to give black people that much money. And if you want to know why they don't, and then you want to know when they show you, listen to how they talk about athletes that don't behave.
Literally.
They talk about athletes like they don't behave. Like, nigga, I'm giving you something. Respect this.
You should owe me.
Respect me.
You owe us.
Owe me. I'm giving you something. Like, I didn't bust my ass 7 days a week from 8 to 24 to get here. Yeah. They talk to you like they owe you something. Like they gave you something just because. Like it's reparations or something. Like they just gave you this shit for no reason.
And it's a lot of it is they'll never give you the money, but Joe Budden will never be Joe Rogan.
Ever. It's impossible.
They will never give Joe Budden that much power.
He won't even be the Kelsey brothers.
Like, he will never be
Kelsey brothers.
They will never give you that much power.
They gave Kelsey brothers 125, bro.
It's not even...
You'll never have that much power.
Joe Budden been podcasting since 2016. Joe Budden has 3.5 million listeners per week.
Yeah. Crazy.
Dog.
Shout out to Petronius.
Dog. ESPN is not getting that type of viewership. I'm trying to explain to you guys. This is TV level success with the podcast.
Skip Bayless posted his podcast with Lil Wayne. It had 2,500 views.
We have videos with 2,500 views.
With Lil Wayne.
With little fucking Wayne.
Like, it's.
And the difference is, Skip had somebody backing him. Skip had somebody back. Joe Budden's doing this independent and is getting this type of views. Yeah. Joe Budden's doing this with independent marketing, independent resources. And he's getting this in prize picks. And he just got that back 6 months ago. Yeah. And he's doing that.
Yep.
And he can't get the bag for it because they don't want us to get that much money. That brings us back to what we were saying about Beyonce, Riri, etc. When you walk in these rooms, you are still a nigga.
Yeah.
And so for y'all to take that experience away from them, because the rooms they walk in got a little bit more money than the rooms you walk in, and act like they don't feel the same, that's crazy. Because it's the essence of being a black person, we always have, I just know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I just think we should just be grateful. Like, I hate how we demonize Jay-Z and all these things. Like, at the end of the day, these should be black superheroes to us.
Like, Jay-Z is carrying, like, we called him the godfather of rap earlier. Like,
yes.
Jay-Z is the elder statesman that rap has needed.
Literally.
Like, not only what he's done has been great, but we needed it. We needed all of it. Mm-hmm. All the goodwill, the albums, the being, like, first, just being Jay-Z.
Just off rip.
Just being Hov. Yeah. Like,
you gave us 13 number one albums.
13 number ones, and you're the blueprint for everyone. Mm-hmm. Literally. Mm-hmm. Pun intended. You're the blueprint for all these artists. Mm-hmm. Wait, like when you see Drake pop up with 14 different hot artists, that's Hov.
Yep.
Hov was that nigga that was like, oh yeah, I know Pharrell from, I was dating a girl that knew Pharrell. That was called, oh yeah, let's do a song. Like, oh yeah, he hot. Let's do a song. Mm-hmm. We have needed everything Jay-Z has given us. Mm-hmm. Same thing for Beyonce. And this third guy, I'm not going to mention because, of course, nigga off the deep end. But before he went off the deep end, we talked about the 2013 interview where he first got into these rooms. Mm-hmm. And Charlamagne is like, bro, we don't care about your rich nigga problems. He's like, bro, these are our problems, my nigga. These are all our problems. And people don't understand that it's a different way these niggas run the world, bro.
They don't get it, bro. They don't get it.
Like niggas think Shaq is, I love this quote, niggas think Shaq is rich. The nigga who pays Shaq is rich, bruh. Mm-hmm. Like, when Jay-Z talking about buying a painting so he can have generational wealth, fam, just think about the number of athletes, just athletes alone that our population has in proportion to our total population. Like, we have the smallest population and the most athletes. That yearly income alone should be enough to change the entire financial landscape for us, but it's not. And it's not because, and I hate when people do this, like niggas like, oh yeah, Cam Newton broke. Cam Newton not broke. Cam say, yo, I'm not spending money the way I was when I was an NFL superstar quarterback. Like, yeah, that fucking makes sense.
Cam Newton said he was getting $1 million every 2 weeks.
Like hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna spend money differently than I will post-career, but we never feel connected to that success. And that is what frustrates me so much, is that And just to wrap this all up, to bring it back to Kendrick, what frustrates us so much, and Daniel, you can see how passionate we are about this, is you just watch something so black, so important for you. And your first thought was, fuck, he didn't play all right. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
The mic was too low.
Or the mic was, yeah, like, that should be killing me, bro.
I just want to say.
Are they not going to let us do this again?
We should do a pop star next year.
Y'all will figure it out.
I had niggas telling me,
fam, do you
we
know,
need a pop star next
year.
Fam,
you know, listen, we should, like, in context, it's like, what was it, Super Bowl 59? 58 white people. One black person. And he was like, we should probably do a pop star, keep everybody happy. You just did it for 60 years. You had 60 years to keep them niggas happy. What do you mean? We should do somebody like pop, country, like, okay.
After Janet Jackson, there wasn't a black performer for the 2000s until Beyonce did it in 2013, I'm pretty sure. Prince did it. Prince did it in the middle of the 2000s. That was it.
And fucking Will.I.am. Don't listen.
Like
don't
I said.
Don't let me.
Like I said.
Yeah, like I fucking talk about Will.I.am. Like,
I just want to say I'm glad that you were able to pull up for the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Because you can agree with
Hell
me in that, like I said, we've had folks talk about, it didn't reach these people.
Yeah.
I don't think that was for a Super Bowl audience.
Yeah.
I want you to know, everybody in my living room, I'm pretty sure all of them were black.
Yeah.
And we can attest that moment was fucking special.
Insane.
Hey,
that moment we shared in there, bro. Like watching that shit take place.
Like, it was so important for me to be there.
Yeah.
And especially I felt like, and I told Steve this earlier when we was talking about it. Niggas was like, yo, Usher, the niggas shows was better. I was in the room with the same niggas I have been with I've watched 4-5 Super Bowls with these people. Mm-hmm. Going back to Tom Brady versus the Falcons, I've been watching Super Bowls at this party. Mm-hmm. I've never heard it like that. Niggas were louder than the TV for over half the performance.
My voice is gone because I was screaming yesterday. I was like screaming at the top of my lungs. Like, I cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, I had Joel and Javante here, and they was like, nigga, what is wrong with you? And I was like, y'all don't understand what just happened. Like, y'all don't understand the magnitude of that performance. Yeah. And y'all don't, because y'all are a part of this. Yeah. Y'all don't get that this was one of the most important nights in rap history.
Ever.
Like, that is saying something. Yeah. This is like Game 6 Jordan with the jumper for the walk-off. Really? This is Kobe winning 5. Yeah. This is Bron winning that first one. This is Steph winning that fourth one. This is that type of moment for us, bro. Yeah. This Jalen Hurts. This Lamar next year when he pull it off. Like, this is that type of moment for us. Yeah. Beyonce winning album of the year. Like, this is that type of moment, bro. Yeah. They just don't get it. Yeah. But, Nelson, we have been talking, so let's take it to, let's do about like 15 minutes. Drake. Let's end it here. Where does Drake go from here?
Country music.
So, my bad, y'all. We having a lot of, this is a 3-hour pod, so camera died. My fault. We going crazy, though. Nelson was speaking on where we think Drake goes from here.
Yeah, so I'll say one thing. It don't start off with what you about to do this Friday.
Oh, my God.
I'll say this.
Are you not happy for the party album?
Oh, my God.
After Kendrick just told 126 million people that party at the party, playing with his nose now?
Bro, listen. And it's part of a microcosm of what we were talking about Drake fans and Drake. The best way to sum up Drake and his fans, because they're basically one and the same now, is that they just don't get it. Yeah. And, it's just been shown in, what's it been, 10 months? Like, how do you just continue to make the wrong decisions?
Every time.
Every single time.
They think, the funny thing is, Drake makes them believe the internet is real life, and because they only talk to other Drake
friends,
each other.
Yes,
they think
they're in a
their
fucking
opinions
bubble
about Drake is real life. So it's just
y'all
an
think
all
this is
big
the world.
bubble fuck of niggas thinking the internet is their friend and it's real life when it's not.
Bro, I have this problem where I love arguing. You know, I don't want to say arguing. I love discussing with my friends
debate,
that. Yeah. But I have this problem where I don't want to. I really don't want to say fam, you sound stupid right now.
Yeah. But you're holding it back.
Yeah, but fam, I don't want to have to explain what an algorithm is.
But you're in it.
Bro. When you open your phone and you only click on shit,
it's you.
That's Drake.
It's tailored to you.
It's feeding you. I be doing it all the time. I be like, yo, I want to see highlights, I'll go watch a highlight. Go back and scroll on the TL and there'll be more highlights there.
Yes.
Like, you control what you are seeing. So when niggas like, I've only seen bad things about their performance. Like, oh yeah, Aubrey's attorney, academics and academics TV all had negative things to say about it. And you follow 18 of the same niggas. So they've been repeating everything yes, but like, especially now, you see this so much with society now because everything is social media and everything is antiquated and algorithm is like, it's so many echo chambers. It's so many echo chambers where people don't even realize what outside the rest of the world actually looks like. It's like, oh yeah, people think you are crazy, my nigga, but you will never know because you are in the group of crazy niggas. Like Drake fan, and I defy people to tell me another fan base since this beef has started. Drake fans have overtaken the most annoying fan base on the internet.
I'm with
period.
You. I'm with you.
Which is crazy thing about because nobody ever thought they would get to the Beehive or the Barb. Like
at least the Beehive justified.
And the Beehive honestly cooled out.
Fucking short and sweet.
Listen, but what's so crazy about the Beehive is the Beehive was so strong. She had to be like, yo, chill.
Yeah.
She had to be like, yo, can y'all relax? The problem with Drake is niggas they posted the Australian concert I guess this is what being over. It's fam.
Drake hasn't performed in 10 years, performed in Australia in 10 years, bro. He's going to be able to sell out a show. And that brings me to the point of where I wanted to address where does Drake go from here? And this will be the last time y'all hear me talk because, pause, my throat is killing me. But for this, since Not Like Us dropped, me and Ish have been saying it is over for Drake. Yeah. And for the people that aren't a part of this, what I am saying that this is over for Drake, I'm not saying Drake is never going to sell 100K first week again, or Drake is never going to drop good music again, or Drake will never be able to go on tour again and sell out arenas or stadiums. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he might still be the most listened to rapper ever on Spotify as a monthly listeners. Yeah. Do you know why? Because Drake is not just a rapper. He's a pop artist.
Yep.
If you go look at the 5 most listened to artists, they're pop artists.
Yep.
So y'all keep confusing him as a rapper when he has gravitated towards pop music. That is why we have a problem with his albums and the music he has been pushing for the past 10 years. Yep. Because when you get to that position, you have a choice. And Kendrick is showing you have a choice. You can conform.
Yep.
And you can push what they want you to push,
exactly,
or you can stay to the essence of what this is. And neither option is wrong. But when you take option A and pretend you're option B,
that's the problem.
That's when we have the problem.
That's the problem.
So back to what happens with Drake is, this Drake is over to the people that care about the essence of this. Yep. Drake and the people that care about the essence of this, Allah me, Allah him, will always love Drake's music. Will always listen to the new Drake album. As soon as Drake drops that album at 12 o'clock, I will turn it on.
Be there.
I was listening to Drake this morning.
I'll be there.
Dog, I played Drake all through my workout yesterday. I listened to Drake. I'm not going to stop. What I am saying it's over is the feeling you got from Drake is over.
Yeah.
The moments you got from Drake is over. There's a forever stain on Drake's legacy from this moment. Yeah. And there is no coming back from it. Again, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about ticket and album sales.
It's bigger than that.
I am talking about culture.
It's bigger than that.
I am talking about a feeling. 1,000%. The people that dictate this shit. The gatekeepers of this shit. And there needs to be more because academics' place needs to be removed.
100%.
But the gatekeepers of this will make sure that he is never looked at or feels like the biggest rapper in the world.
Ever.
I better never see him in another rap battle again.
No, he'll never.
The point.
You can never be in a rap
said something very important about July last year. He said, who feels like the biggest rapper in the world right now?
Oh, yeah. I did,
Because culture is a feeling. Impact is a feeling. You can't fake it.
Can't fake influence.
So when you look at Drake and you look outside and the music is still cool on Spotify, you're going to know the feeling is not the same because when he comes on in clubs, he's not going to get the same reaction.
No, he's not. He's not.
And he might get the same club in Alpharetta with the Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
But when you off Boulder Crest, when you're in Blue Flame,
nope,
you ain't gonna get the same reaction.
Nope.
And that's what has happened to Drake. Yeah. And the last thing I want to say, and this might be the most important thing I say today, I might ask Ish for $150 so we can put $300 behind this 10-second clip. Whoever has the power to remove academics from his position in rap, please do it.
Yeah.
Adam 22 I can live with because he white and don't know shit and fuck him.
Right.
Academics acts like he is for this culture when academics is about Drake and $1.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
Someone like that does not need to have that much power and influence over this culture. He said he leaked Kendrick's halftime set on purpose so Kendrick would change it up. First off, you're stupid as fuck for thinking that would work.
Hilarious.
Secondly, as someone who is finna perform for the biggest night in rap, on the biggest stage in rap, why would you try to ruin that?
Crazy.
Why would you try to spoil that for the audience, for the fan, for this culture? Why would you try to take anything away from him in that moment?
Yeah.
To be on Drake dick?
Literally.
He shouldn't even have had the access to that.
Boy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
sad.
You don't deserve that access.
Yeah, like
he does not deserve that shit. Remove him.
Just a nigga at the stadium gave him that. But like you're 1,000% correct. Like, but from his position where he is now, like to do that on Drake's behalf, it's just so frustrating because, like, he don't fuck with you. That's what's crazy is
he's never been on your stream.
He's been
on Aiden Ross's stream. He's never been on your stream.
Been on Aiden. XQC does not know any Drake music. They literally said, "Yo, this was on Scorpion." He was like, "What Scorpion?" Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, that was one of my albums.
Those are the people he'd rather kick it with than you.
And when you were down, and you are still down, low key right now. Let's keep it a rack. You are still down. Like that's why I wasn't so mad at it, because this is you lashing out. This is the best you can do. That's why I wasn't so mad about it. And because like first, the people who saw the leak, 80% of them not gonna care.
Yeah.
First of all, the 20% who do care wasn't gonna like the show anyway, because those are the niggas you were talking to.
Exactly.
The rest of the 24.5 million people that have seen it already don't follow your Twitch. They don't follow your Rumble. Like this fight is one that he will just never win. Like,
this is one of the moments where you think you got way more power than you do, shawty.
It's like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I leaked his halftime show. I showed him, like, yeah, he didn't care. Like, why? Like, the idea that he would change it because you leaked it is crazy. Like, this is the biggest performance in his life. They spent 6 months figuring out the set list. We're gonna change it because some nigga at the stadium told you what song to play. Who cares? Like, that's what was killing me. Is like, we've heard the music before. Like, what do you mean you leaked it? I leaked it because you say it's not a Marvel.
Like he dropped the album.
Like, it's not a Marvel movie. It's like, oh yeah, I ruined the ending. Nigga, we know he was gonna play. Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, it's so frustrating what academics has become, because I liked academics on Everyday Struggle a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, and to see where he's ended up now is just so frustrating, because he was next to Nadeska Alexis. Mm-hmm. He was next to Joe Budden.
Mm-hmm. And we see what they became.
And as hot as the year Ack had, getting shouted out by Drake and shouted out by Kendrick, Ack platform and Joe Budden platform right now, night and day. Mm-hmm. Night and day.
Not to mention, you talk about him getting shouted out. Let's talk about why he got shouted out. Like, it's not like you were getting praised.
Yeah, like that's I was more so on push-ups, like just.
Yeah.
But like when you see where, like, fam, and you know, not to disrespect, not to pocket watch, but like, fam, Joe Budden numbers.
Yeah.
And your Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Listen, I know what Twitch play. Like we see it. Like, and for you to be like you said, it's like he's throwing a rock at the moon. Mm-hmm. It's like even if you
and then try to hide his hand,
literally. But like, you're throwing a rock at the moon. But even if you hit him, he wouldn't notice. Mm-hmm. Like, even if you got it there, He doesn't care. He is on such a different, pipe down, young. These some whole other politics. It's some bigger shit going on than you being upset Drake the lost beef, bro.
I think literally there's a common theme, and we could bring it all full circle from the Super Bowl to the beef to this. There's just a common theme of underestimating your opponent.
Literally.
And like underestimating
great job, bro.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
That's fucking potting, nigga.
Yeah.
Bro, like
Potty right
listen.
now. No cap.
There was
This is why you're the best guest.
Go
ahead.
There was some niggas who came into this year and knew who the fuck they was all year and stayed true to it, and it came through when it's time to hold up the trophy.
Yeah.
Or hold up the Grammy,
and
or hold up the MVP,
exactly.
whatever.
Carter 6 coming soon.
Yeah. Listen, the real niggas showed out, and the other niggas who are on their pedestal who think they were better than everybody else.
Yep.
Listen, the king fell. The kings fell.
And
I'm glad you said that what you said at the end. And it's kind of just a wrap what we said about Drake. In July, whenever Wagwan Delilah came out, we sat here and I looked at Daniel. I said, "There's no real niggas around Drake
At all.
It's not a real nigga around Drake. And if anything, these last 6 months have showed you, it's no real niggas around Drake, and it's because Drake's not a real nigga himself. And if you put the beef in a sentence pause, it's one real nigga versus someone who isn't.
And you got no good woman at home either. It's
a
good woman. That's not.
Listen, we cannot leave this episode without. Let's just clap it up for Serena Williams.
Woo!
And for you, I'm trying to pick a word that can be used
bitches.
in a YouTube video. I'm trying to pick a word that can be used in a TikTok or YouTube video for you. Okay. Got you. All right. Shout out Serena Williams. And for you, mouth-breathing nerds. Mm-hmm. She is crip walking because Serena Williams, the greatest tennis player of all time.
Arguably the greatest athlete ever.
Arguably the greatest athlete, most dominant athlete to ever put on a pair of sneakers from Compton, California, where Kendrick is from. She was crip walking because she crip walked on a worldwide stage and was criticized for it.
Crucified.
Because who watches tennis?
White people.
And you nerds that only know Serena because Drake shouted out her husband in a rap song you heard a couple of years ago. You need to realize that, again, just because something happened before 2016 doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Everything I know, of course, we're stomping Drake's teeth in at the Super Bowl, but everything was not a, hey, Drake dated Serena. It's not enough spots on the court, on the field, for people that dated Drake and hate him. And that's not what it was for.
And if you niggas want to be honest, she deserved to dance on a nigga grave who been dissing her for 10 years because she didn't want to marry the nigga.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Like, what the fuck?
We love you, Serena. We fucking love you.
Thank God they didn't get married. What?
So happy for her seeing her up there.
You can't do no dark skinned one from Compton, nigga. That's why they not married right now.
I love you.
I smack the shit out that nigga.
I love Serena my whole life, man.
Listen.
You better never speak. Listen, hey, I'm telling you, you better never speak on Serena, nigga. What's wrong?
Hey, that nigga went not like us. Said, I'm going to turn your TV off. And then said, game over.
Like, it's just...
Game over.
What started
That's how you end a rap beef.
What did all this start with? There are no round twos, nigga. This was it. You just saw a 6-month-long victory lap.
This is it.
And just
game over.
And this last couple of minutes, and just to pop our shit one more time and really just mind, like, fam, I told y'all niggas 9 months ago what was gonna happen. Every step of the way, we tried to tell you what was gonna happen, who was gonna be better, the tail of the tape. We told y'all.
You didn't even have to be a Kendrick fan to know it. You just had to be a fan of hip-hop to know it.
Just be honest.
If you paid attention just a little bit to what hip-hop is and who these artists are, and why did you think he had a chance?
And who they are. Nigga. Like, what? Like, man, niggas like, I wish Kendrick played some of his old music. You niggas need to go listen to Kendrick old music.
Come on, dog.
Because when I listen to that old music, especially now, I can't believe you niggas thought Drake stood a chance. I can't believe it.
I love y'all, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate this show. I appreciate y'all. This has just been, I'm so grateful, dog. This was an amazing episode. Before we get out of here, I wanted to mention a few things. I am a fan of Chapel Roan. I saw what she is doing with this label shit. Yeah. She won an award for Best New Artist and got up there and basically said that the labels owe us more as artists. We put billions of dollars in your pockets. Why don't we have insurance? Why aren't there mental health services? Why aren't we getting paid fairly? Why don't we have a consistent wage? And he then, after that speech in front of all the execs, because if y'all don't know, they have the Grammys in the Staples Center. And in them boxes that you see during the game, there are all the CEOs for every record label ever. All the billionaires are up in them boxes where you can't see them because you don't see billionaires. And in front of all of them billionaires who voted for her to win this award, she got up there and said, y'all not doing enough and y'all can do better. That is important. And then after that, she doubled down because an exec came out and pretty much was like, well, if she cares so much, why don't you put some money down? And she said, was like, I will put $25,000 down
right
if
now.
you put $25,000 down.
Yeah, she said, well, I'll match it right now.
And then Charlie XCX came out and said, and I'll put another $25K on top of it to help her out. So, like, that is what I'm talking about. That is how you be great artists. Two artists, and as we always got to talk about Atlanta somehow. 2 Chainz and Larry June dropped the album called Life is Beautiful.
That shit hard.
If you really like rap music, it's phenomenal. It is soft, Alchemist beats.
Yeah, it's so smooth. It's so smooth. I don't listen to a lot of Larry June. This is my first Larry June experience. And to Larry June, listen, niggas from Atlanta can rap. Hey, Chase was getting off on that nigga.
Hey, Chase said, I left my ex behind like Mexico.
That's crazy.
He said, I can take my shoes off and I still won't be defeated.
Listen.
That's how you rap, Chase.
I love Chase talking greasy. He said, that cologne you got on from CVS.
Bro.
Chainz was on that bitch talking so crazy, bro. Shout out to 2 Chainz.
I think they got 2 niggas like, I mean, Al is Al, and Al is going to do what he do, but I think they really just got 2 niggas who are the masters of sounding cool.
Yeah.
Like, these are just 2 cool-ass niggas just being cool.
Great
and I do think Chainz out-rapped him just because I think Chainz a better rapper. So, like, but for what the album was and the instrumentals they was on, like, I just listened to 2 niggas just be fucking.
And that was my thing, like, for the people listening, is like, it's like, boring or slow, like it's supposed to be really cool. Like it's not supposed to be like one of his out, like because you'll see Al chop it. Al can miss a chop it up. Now. Listen, for the right, listen, if he need to chop it, he'll chop it. But especially for Larry June and Chainz, this is kind of the beats I wanted to hear.
Exactly.
This
where
was
just let the sample breathe.
This was smoke a blunt, drink some wine, and cut on this album.
Which once again. In hip hop culture, that's part of the root of it. Like some we want it to be cool ass.
Yeah, bro.
Go listen to Imaginary Players, bro.
Bro, coolest song ever.
Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. I'm not sure the results of the game tonight. I'm actually just gonna go check. Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. I actually like that move because he essentially replaced Andrew Wiggins. So I thought that move was good. Oh, they won again. 2-0 with Jimmy Butler. Nice. Jimmy Butler had 20. Steph had 38. Oh, I'm about to go rewatch that game. But yeah, so the Warriors, I have a lot of confidence in them with Jimmy Butler. I got to see about 10 games after the All-Star break and see what they can do, but I actually think they can make some noise, especially if they get a big on a buyout. And then lastly, the Lakers trade was rescinded. I was coming in here to say the Lakers are going to the finals if Mark Williams stays healthy, but trade was rescinded.
It's crazy. I think they're better without Mark Williams.
We'll see. They're playing right now. Yeah, I can't wait to turn out.
I like the idea of having a bona fide big shooter with Dalton still there. And I
like Dalton a lot.
And I like Cam Reddish on the floor with Luka, even if he's not. Like, that's my thing. Luka's a floor raiser. Like, Jackson Hayes just became a starting center.
Yeah.
Cam Reddish just became a 3-and-D guy. Can't shoot.
Yeah.
But he's still a 3-and-D guy because you're playing with Luka.
Yeah.
Like, so I like them having switchable wings because they're going to be one of the biggest and most physical teams in the NBA. So I think Maxi Cleveland is probably one of their biggest, most important players, ironically, because like whoever their backup center is, he is good. They just got it like LeBron, like Joel Anthony was on the court when LeBron was like, come on.
So, this has been episode 105, one of going down in the books as an automatic classic. Told y'all what it was at the beginning. Every time Nelson come on, it's just classic shit, man. This is what we do, man. Congratulations to Nelson, the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Beyonce again for Cowboy Carter for the fucking short sweet.
Blackest month.
Shout out to black people. Shout out to rap music.
It's been an impeccable Black History Month. It's been 10 days.
It's been the blackest 30 days of my life.
Shout out to everybody that has played a part in Kendrick Lamar's halftime
Norman
show.
Osborn black.
Shout out to Norman Osborn, dog. Like, fuck. Like, shit. Just shout out to everything. Shout out to everything. Anyone, please subscribe. Please like. Please share this. If you know anybody that is looking for podcasts to sponsor, please hit us up. If you know anybody that's looking somebody to add something to their podcast network, please hit us up. I promise we do this shit. I promise. You can love us. You can hate us. I just hope you pay players. Pose for the thumbnail.